across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
I'm too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my shirt, so sexy it hurts. Now, by the way,
very good.
This
Yeah,
is
your shirt's too sexy.
this
for
is
you.
the Late Show with Andre Walker, Asher Gould, and we've got Right Said Fred in the studio. But I want to just say one thing to you. The last time I ripped my shirt off, which, by the way, was him behind the camera telling me to do it, was when Hulk Hogan appeared at the Donald Trump thing, and I ripped it off, and then he got called in. He got called in, that guy behind the camera, and they said, I think Andre's taken it too far this time. And what did he say? I'll have a word with him. Not, it was my idea. He didn't say that. He literally blamed me. Anyway, Right Said Fred are one of our favourite pop groups. They were huge, huge, huge for the past, what, 20, 30 years? It's
More, I mean, it was about 88, 89.
Broke just after the war.
So not only that, you've not only had hits like I'm Too Sexy, Deeply Dippy. I mean, I like the Stonk, by the way.
Don't talk, just kiss.
Oh, don't talk, just kiss.
Yeah, don't talk, just kiss.
But also,
Stick it out. That wasn't one, was
Stick it
it?
out, yeah, that was the comic relief.
Stick it out.
But also, they have, been political campaigners a little bit. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to dedicate the first hour of this to Right Said Fred's career. Obviously, we've got to start at the beginning, and then we'll go all the way through. I will say one thing.
Okay,
I will say one
go on
thing.
then.
I used to live next door to Richard. He is, I'll tell you what, it is totally bizarre when people, like one instance I saw was when somebody's hat blew off, and then they literally post on Twitter, my hat blew off in the wind visiting a tourist town recently, and Right Said Fred picked it up and gave it back to me, and they were like, I'm sure I wasn't off on mushrooms at the time, but you're well known for being two of the nicest people.
We're big on manners.
We're big
Yes.
on manners, yes.
And why is that? How did you start out? Is it
They were
your
brought up
parents?
well, weren't they?
Yeah, I think
Mum and Dad.
Mum and Dad, yeah.
So you were born in East Grinstead in Sussex, which is how we
No, we
started.
grew up in East Grinstead, and we were born in separate places.
And just to be clear, people,
Yeah.
I know it sounds obvious to most people,
Yeah.
but one of you is Richard Furbrass, the other is Fred Furbrass,
Yes.
and you are actual brothers.
Indeed.
It's not a joke. You
No.
are full
Well,
siblings.
yes.
Whatever.
Yes, we
Now, obviously, it was a bit of a camp act, and you are
it?
Let's be clear, Fred.
What were you talking about, Willie?
You are Fred, clearly the straightest man I've ever met.
Okay.
Did he persuade you to do all
Yeah,
that?
you don't know him that well.
Because he was the older brother.
No.
Okay, go on.
No, we when we did the video, James Le Bon was the director, and basically the song took off without
This
a
is
record
I'm Too
deal.
Sexy.
Yeah,
I'm Too
yeah,
Sexy,
yeah.
sorry. So I'm Too Sexy. No record label would touch it.
Yeah.
They all said, F off. So we thought, no, we could do this on our own, which we did. And so it was released without a record deal. And our manager...
Without a clue.
Our manager at the time got it onto Simon Bates' show. Then it started running. And then when we did the video, James said, look, you guys are really in really good shape. You have to take your tops off. So we went, yeah, all right.
So it was on Simon Bates, so he did, because he used to do like our tune. It wasn't on our tune, and then he died, and this was his favourite song, and I'm Too Sexy comes.
Yeah, well, he played it off the acetate back in the day.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Back in the day, you had an acetate version of the thing.
Big old vinyl thing.
Big old vinyl thing. And we went in there when he had the breakfast show, and he put it on and just played it into his headphones initially, because obviously he didn't know what it was going to be like.
This.
Yeah, he liked that and put it to air. Then by the time we drove back to Putney, where we were living at the time, the phone lit up and we had to go back in town.
But taking a step...
There was another member with hair, but you got rid of him. You didn't
No,
like
he
the
just
hair.
left. He just
All
left.
right, yeah, we know why you got rid of him.
But taking a look, jealousy. But taking a step back, it's an incredibly, I know this sounds twee, but it's an incredibly brave thing to do, to have put out I'm Too Sexy, to have gone for it. What are you? Are you musicians? Did you start as kids? Were you in the choir at school? I mean, how does any of that work?
Our first UK tour was 1978.
Yep.
We were supporting a New York duo called Suicide.
Was it punk era then?
Yeah, very
really,
much.
really?
Very much.
So you had hair then, I suppose?
Yeah, we had hair, but we weren't punk. We were just a sort of a bit high energy sort of pop band.
Yeah.
And we toured with Suicide, and we also did shows on that tour. We did the show with Joy Division, and then bands like The Addicts and some of these other bands.
Amazing.
And then we just in and out of record deals through the 80s. Everyone's saying go away. And
So what were you sort of session people or what?
no,
really.
we were just we had a residency at Dingwalls. We did the pubs.
A London
around.
club, that was a
Yeah,
London.
in Camden. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were a resident band there for a while. Then we just went round and round colleges, pubs, and it never crossed our minds to stop. We just saw
But did
this.
you have an aim, like we're going to be successful by doing it? You just thought, we'll just keep doing it and
Yeah,
eventually...
it's all we knew how to do. All I know how to do.
Did you want to... If someone says you worked with Bowie, one of yours?
Yeah.
Richard did a lot of promo stuff with David Bowie.
with David Bowie,
he
yeah.
played
Do what?
bass.
Oh, right. So
You
you're
know,
bass player.
videos and stuff.
And what do you play?
I play guitar.
oh,
So
right.
I did a Bob Dylan movie in 86. So we did some shows to support the movie. So I was playing guitar with Dylan and Reb Beach from Winger and what's his name? Timmy Capello, sax player from Tina
Right.
Turner.
But it was all electronic. Your hits were all sort of mainly
Well, what happened?
electronic.
Yeah,
weren't
what
they?
happened-
not really, no.
when we met Rob, who was the guy with all the hair, that's when we sat down with Rob and we said, you won't play us any of your ideas and we won't play you any of our ideas, and we'll come up with something completely new between us. And Sexy was the first thing.
That was the first idea we had.
And basically what happened was we had a bass line going round on a loop in this little studio, which was da 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 da, like on an E major scale basically. And for some inexplicable reason, I went into the room next door, which was his bedroom, as it turned out. He had one of these mirrors cut into the wardrobe. And I took my shirt off and just started singing along with the bass line, I'm too sexy for my shirt. And
Yeah, because the vocal's the same as the bass line.
Isn't it? It must annoy you though, when you sit there for a month or 2 months or 3 months trying to come up with something, and then somebody in the shower goes, "Oh yeah, that'll be the one."
Absolutely, I'm telling you.
That is very common. I
We
think.
did it with Don't Talk Just Kiss. There was a competition for people who like the band, and it was your favourite lyric. What's your favourite lyric of Right Said Fred? And the favourite lyric was fun, fun, fun from Don't Talk Just Kiss.
Yes.
That's just 3 words.
That's
isn't
3
it?
words.
Repeated.
Repeated. And that was their
They
favourite lyric.
that was their favourite
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. So you can never predict what people...
One of the things
Jocelyn Brown.
that I wonder about now. So I've ended up sat in this seat just because I liked university debates and I was involved in politics and whatever.
Yeah.
And so I never had an ambition to be a TV presenter or a radio presenter or whatever. But I do feel if you were 2 cabinet ministers and you were taking the mick out the public, I would debate you on your own topic with no notes and not have a problem with you.
Right.
I'd break you in half. It wouldn't bother me.
Right.
My point is this. What you're talking about is somebody who's developed their skill over years. Do you not get annoyed when you see people who just go, I want to be famous? And actually, they've not learnt anything. They don't really know how to do it. And they're just taken in and spat out by a media industry. The Love Island type people.
No,
Yes.
I know. Well, I think
That's their decision. I don't think they know the animal they're getting involved in.
No.
They're trying to ride a tiger.
They just want to be famous.
They do,
Yeah.
But the beauty with what you did, it sounds like, is you didn't get a deal, so therefore you make all the money and your managers. So you must do very well from royalties from that.
Yeah, we do
song.
all right.
Yeah, we
Because it was number one in the
He's
States.
got a big house. Trust me. Oh, I'll tell you what.
It was. You made it in America. You broke America. It was number one. So you must get. It's
Literally, like the poshest bit of the town that I lived in.
Taylor
Like,
Swift.
He lives right on the corner in the middle
Taylor
of it.
Swift just sampled you. Other people
did.
sample you.
Yeah.
You
It's,
make
it's actually called an
It's
interpolation.
not a sample.
It's
I
not a
wish
sample.
it was because
interpolation.
because
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
if they sampled us because we own the master rights, we'd actually make more money. But it's called interpolation, which means
Which is basically they try and say it's not really ripped off, but it's like an homage, isn't
Yes,
it?
exactly
Homage.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But that, I mean, in truth, and this may annoy you, there has to come a point where you're able to copy a trend of somebody else, isn't there? Yeah,
Well,
you're not
I-
going to agree with that, are you?
I don't think you can. I think because the
We
blurred
don't know
line,
how to.
Yeah, the blurred lines case basically made everybody so paranoid.
Yeah.
You know, we've been in writing sessions where they hold a phone up against the speaker
And Shazam it
to try
before.
and Shazam it to see if it's been recorded. I don't
Yeah.
know if that works or not,
Yeah.
but people are very paranoid.
So when you get into all these record labels and they all say to you, you're crap and throw you out the door. I mean, that's what you've said basically.
They did say that.
They did actually say that.
So obviously, I mean, I miss these days when your youth made you so confident, or it didn't worry you that much.
No.
So you just kept going round. I want to ask you this question because I used to absolutely love, some of the old big London clubs or whatever. That's all gone, hasn't it now? The kind of, I mean, I know there's still Dublin Castle and places like that, but these old big Astoria and all these places.
Still the Camden Palace, but there were 35,000 clubs in this country in the 80s. Now there's now 1,000.
Right.
Clubs
Well, when we started, every pub was a gig in London.
Yeah.
Pretty much every pub.
Yeah.
And,
it was great.
What's on sort of Friday, Saturday nights? They'd always have a turn.
Yeah. And
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
The problem now is, the beer costs a fortune.
Yeah.
The travel,
parking,
stabbings. People are worried about stuff.
You can't smoke.
Yeah.
And at home, there's a lot to do at home now.
Yeah,
you can Netflix, chill, smoke, drink, everything.
I mean, as I say, my club was the Astoria, which was knocked down for Tottenham Court Road Station. And I think maybe it was £1 to get in and £1.50. Now, and £1.50 drink. Now, I'm not being funny, but, I'm talking about, the year 2000. I'm not talking about 1952.
No,
that's right.
It's not that long ago.
Wasn't the Blitz Club near there?
I think it might have been downstairs.
I was a doorman.
Were you?
I was a doorman.
You look like a doorman.
I know, sometimes I do. I was the doorman at the Astoria for the downstairs
The
club,
downstairs Astoria too.
which was called DV8 at one point.
That's right, DVA.
And then it was GAY.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
couldn't even say gay.
Yeah.
It was all coded, GAY.
My favourite story about GAY, and this is absolutely true, and people go mad about this, but it's absolutely true. The Crown Prince of Qatar is banned from that nightclub.
Why?
Right? What happened was him and a friend and a bodyguard, went into a club called GAY, right? And when there was somebody tried to talk to his friend, this Sal Fahani, the Crown Prince of Qatar, when they talked to his friend, he had a fight, the bodyguard had a fight, and they got thrown out. They all whipped out diplomatic immunity when the police arrived.
Right.
And Jeremy Joseph, the owner of Jeremy Joseph, the owner of GAY, being that he is Jewish, not that keen on the son of the Crown Prince of Qatar having a fight. So he then married his cousin a week later, and he's now the Crown Prince. And he says, when he walked into the club with his friend from school and the bodyguard, he didn't know it was a gay club, even though it had the sign GAY.
And lots of blokes were snodding.
Yeah, lots of blokes were snodding.
He refused to come in, Jeremy Joseph, because he wouldn't let his dog in because of protocol, and he
That's why he walks around with his dog, didn't he?
yeah, he wouldn't. We wouldn't allow him in. He flounced.
That wasn't a dog. No, I'm joking. But I do lament being able to mission out to those big clubs and all
me
that.
too.
And even, I mean, my cousin was a doorman at Lardy Dars in Accrington. I'll tell you what,
I don't know
if
that.
you'd never been to Lardy's, trust me. There were things. I'll tell you what, my favourite club though was the Tower Bar in Cone. I'll tell you one story.
What's that?
Right, the Tower Bar in Cone in Lancashire.
Oh.
I remember I walked into the toilet and this bloke went, "Bloody hell, there's no toilet paper in the toilet." I went, right, okay. Then he goes, "Bloody hell, there's no seat on toilet either." And he goes, "Bloody hell, there's no door on toilet." He went, "Anyway, if you've got to go." And he said, my God. But that was what made you, wasn't it, going around all those bars and clubs?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it got a bit hairy when we were doing playing places like Eric's. We used to play the Windsor Castle on the Harrow Road, and the Skinners used to come in sometimes a bit pissed up on a Friday or Saturday, and they start giving it the snooker cues. And
what was the name of the club?
Got quite hairy.
The famous rock club, Marquee.
We played
Marquee,
yeah.
And I think it's the trouble is the minute you put politicians between the audience and the artist, it screws it up.
Yeah.
All they want is money, so the rents go up. VAT goes up, you can't smoke, you can't do this, and it kills it.
I remember when they brought in that criminal justice bill in about early 90s because of raves. That sort of stemmed the end of it. Killed a lot off the scene.
Politicians, they have such a miserable time.
They don't want us to have a good time.
Exactly. They have such a miserable time being a politician, and they hate the fact that anybody else is having a good time.
Well, we had these posh accountants out in the city. Early 2000s. And then we were obviously the poorest people in the whole building. And anyway, so
by the time we got the bill, we were.
Yeah.
By the way, before you say any further, what you always do with them lot is have your meeting with them 4 o'clock when there's a bank holiday Monday on a Friday. Right, what you do is go in Friday, 4 o'clock, bank holiday Monday,
Right.
then they won't touch you then. They'll get you out of the building first. But anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so they said, oh, we've got some people at the House of Commons who we represent. They'd like to meet you and discuss how to help hospitality and grassroots gigs. So we met with these guys, all personal secretary, private secretaries of somebody or other. I don't really know who they were. And so they said, what do you think? We said, well, first thing you got to do is got to take VAT. Get rid of VAT on gigs.
Absolutely right.
And they looked at us like we're absolutely insane, and they just went, doo, and then the meeting was over. Yeah.
A lot of things that have killed off clubs is now in London and big cities is now they've become residential areas and they complain about the noise and they try and...
That's true.
I'll tell you what upsets me about that, Asher. It's when people move in next door to a nightclub and then complain about the noise.
Well,
and
happened,
they've got a massive discount on that property because it's next door to a nightclub. When I lived near you, I've actually lived on both sides of your building.
Right.
Well, I won't say the address.
Stalking you, man.
But but you know, if a couple of young lads walk past a bit pissed at 2 in the morning, it doesn't do that much harm, does it?
Exactly.
They're talking a bit loudly and whatever. I mean, I had the Ukrainian flag up on that main road for probably 6 months, and it only came down when somebody was absolutely languid. But they've been walking past it for ages. People are not bad. What happens is they just get obsessed with having a go at everyone. But you guys, do you not feel sometimes that everything that you did was in a more fun age?
It was more experimental.
I think pop was more experimental and more fun.
And there was
more freedom in society.
There was more freedom. And you had more than 3 record labels, which really helped.
That really helped.
So tell us what it was like, because you've been going around for years and then suddenly you've got this massive success. What's that feel like, being at the centre of everything that suddenly...
It wasn't as much fun as we thought it would be.
No.
Money was great.
Yeah.
6 weeks at number 2 because of bloody Brian Adams.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Go on, carry on.
And I was expecting it to be more fun, and I was expecting to play more music. And we just became celebrities.
You're just constantly going out.
We kind of thought there's got to be...
Sorry, but you're literally saying you were getting annoyed about coming to stuff like this. That's what you're talking about. That's what you're talking about, literally.
No, it was much worse than this.
So is it suddenly...
When we went to America, funnily enough, when we did things like this, the first person we met at the radio station was the accountant.
Yeah.
Why?
Not the DJ, because
That's
all about
So
money.
is it that old
It's all
story,
about
you
money.
think it's going to be amazing and you go, oh,
It's not.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite what...
and everyone recognised you and that gets a bit annoying. And
But you said to me previously, Richard, having come on, you came over the phone and did an interview with me ages ago. You said, I was so terrified during that period, I couldn't have done it without my brother at my side.
No, I think it's true.
Yeah.
In fact, we were together all the time.
Well, you always have been, haven't you? You've got a very close bond.
close,
haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, life is so short. I can never understand people.
And we should say part of the reason that people think that you're in a relationship and not brothers is because obviously, Richard, you sadly lost your partner, and Fred has kind of stepped in a little bit to hang around. Well, no,
in every single way.
Easy.
No, but tell us about that, because that's horrible.
Yeah, that was with Stuart. Yeah, we were together for 28 years, me and Stuart. Yeah, and I met him way before the band.
Was that recent?
That was in 2010.
2010.
Oh, right.
20th September. So it's been a long time.
And it was. I'm sorry to say this, but it was cancer, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, we had a year together when he was HIV free.
Right.
And then we had a row. He got drunk.
HIV free? What, he got rid of it?
No,
before.
Before he
right.
became, when he was uninfected, if you like.
Yeah.
And then we had a row. He went off and got drunk. Obviously, slept with somebody that he shouldn't have slept with. Phoned me up the next day, and that's when all the wheels fell off. And then I went back with it. He told me he was positive, and truthfully, it didn't make a difference to me. It really, really didn't. I just think. I know through his consultant, I know he told us about quite a few couples where one was positive, one was negative, and they split up for that very reason. And I just couldn't do that. So I was with Stuart for 28 years.
But what was the thought process there? Because you must have, I mean, even Fred must have said, hey, you've got to be careful here.
I didn't I?
No.
You can get a drug now where a partner can take it and they won't...
Prophylactic. Yeah, you can, but that wasn't true back then. Yeah. And also back then it was a death sentence of about 5 to 10 years.
At one point, people thought it was airborne.
Yeah, and they thought it was airborne.
This was 2010, though? Or he caught it earlier?
Well, he caught it earlier. Yeah, he caught it in the mid-'80s.
But you must have been... I mean, I didn't want to get this heavy, but somebody sits you down and says, listen, You love me. We've had an argument. I've got drunk. I'm now infected with what at the time is a death sentence. Where at the time, and I'm sorry to say this because I had a blood transfusion, so I thought about this when I was a kid, where you're basically going to rot to death. I know it sounds awful, but that's what's going to happen. Hey, are you going to stay with me and risk yourself, or are you going to do a runner? What do you say? I mean,
honestly, I didn't think twice. I absolutely didn't. It was just automatic. I never thought of leaving him, not for 1 second.
Well, that says a lot about you, doesn't
I
it?
couldn't. I just couldn't have done that.
And there was never a moment, and this is an awful thing to say, where you go, you got what you deserved. Now get lost.
No, never.
Because some people would have felt.
Oh
like that.
yeah. I think so. And also, Stuart was a very monogamous person. He wasn't flighty, so that was quite unusual. Back in the day, he just got a very, very, bad hand. Sleeping with a guy, one of the very few guys in London back then who was positive.
The one thing I think is important to say: if you're guilty of having sex, and I think most of us would either be guilty or wish to be guilty at least.
He's Catholic, so he's always guilty.
At some point, but then obviously after Stuart's death, you I mean, when I said you stepped in, I mean let's not. But obviously, without being too specific, because we don't want nutters to sort of run after you. But obviously, you are. You live abroad, but obviously what you do is
back here now.
You were coming backwards and forwards for a period of time. So the reason we ended up living near each other is because it's relatively near Heathrow Airport, and you can come in and
Where
out.
do you live then?
Windsor.
Windsor.
No, but
I lived in Barcelona for 11 years.
Oh, right. Nice.
Yeah. But
And what did you do during the lockdown? Because that must have been.
I got stuck here.
Oh, did you?
'Cause,
Oh God.
Yeah, I was here for 3 months, and I loved Barcelona, but they just folded under lockdown.
But did you leave because you were right said Fred, or did you leave because it was a nicer country?
I left because of the diet and the weather.
Right.
And I was having some health problems because I'd had sepsis and I'd been really ill.
Wow.
Yeah, and my doctor said, really, if you want to give yourself a break from English winters, you should go and live. And she said in the northeast, that part, northeast Spain into south of France. So I did.
And that was before the death of Stuart, was it?
Just.
Yeah.
I know. Then I came back.
Can I ask another question? I mean, how bad were you when that bereavement happened? Because 28 years. That is a serious. I mean, there wasn't gay marriage at the time, but that's a serious marriage, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. It was. Yes, it was very weird.
It was difficult.
It was difficult. What I found myself doing was going round to his flat when he wasn't there, out of habit, I suppose.
Yes.
Smoking for no apparent reason when he was, because I used to smoke with him, but then when he died, I still was smoking, and I remember sitting there one day thinking, "What am I doing? I'm smoking on my own." But
part of the issue
sort of
is,
trying,
you never look. I'm never going to say I know what it's like, but my mother died, and what it struck me was the difference between me and my father was. Losing my mother was incredibly sad, and I was obviously devastated and whatever, but it didn't change my daily routine.
No.
Right.
And I actually think there are two elements of bereavement. There's the love element, and there's literally what do I do now element,
There is that.
which is incredibly difficult.
Absolutely. The thing that
your whole daily routine changed.
Yeah, the one thing I thought, somebody once said, when a person, if you split up with somebody, you split up and they go.
Yes.
And it's over, and that's
Yes.
it. But when the person you love dies, they're with you forever.
Yes.
And I think that's true.
And you end up in love with somebody who is dead.
Yes,
in reality, which is a slightly bizarre
It is.
thought.
I know.
But you never have an argument. So.
No, the secret is to move on, still care for that person.
Of course.
But you have to learn to move on. But
I knew somebody who'd lost his wife and then got married again.
Yeah.
And he said it is a bizarre situation
yeah.
because at the end of the day, I would always say to my second wife, I'm sorry the first one died, but of course I wouldn't have been married to you. But we live in the world that exists rather than the world that we imagine ought to exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, look, we've got to take a little breaky, but if you want to speak to the guys, 0344 499 1000, we're going to talk about the state of Britain with the guys, because they've got a lot to say on that as well, and if you've got any questions...
That's when it's going to get really fruity.
And Keir Starmer, we're going to find out all their views on Keir Starmer right after this.
Across the UK. On DAB+. On YouTube. On your mobile. And on your side. This is Talk.
Grumpy. Like, cheer the fuck up, mate.
Guys, a call has flooded
Sorry, that
in.
went out live.
Oh, God.
He looks when he's got that crown on. He looks like such a grumpy git.
Anyway.
Who are you talking about there?
Oh, well, couldn't possibly say.
Get your questions in. Get your questions into the guys. We got Paula in Halifax. Paula.
Hello, guys. I'm actor Fred. Are you okay?
We're well. How are you?
I think it's
Oh,
coming.
not so bad. I remember grooving and moving on the dance floor to your tune.
Good. So do we.
What's she
Right,
saying?
we have a Richard-related earpiece problem. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to leave the camera on them. It doesn't matter. Keep talking, and somebody's going to fix Richard while we're doing it. Don't worry about it.
Stick it
It's
in
a
your
live
ear hole.
Stick in your ear.
It's a live
come
show.
out.
We're all fine. Don't worry.
come out.
Baby.
Yeah, we can hear you, darling. Go on.
Oh, go on. Oh, you were brilliant in the 80s.
Thank you.
I used to go to... I don't know where you're from, but I'm from Halifax. I don't know if you know the Coliseum nightclub.
All right, okay. I don't think we played there, but I
But
know.
how are you never
She
on the
remembers
Hitman?
hearing you. She must have been
how
very
are you,
drunk.
How are you never on the Hitman and Her?
I don't know.
I mean, it's we're live from Roxy's in Doncaster. Boo, 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 boo.
Anyway, Paula, this
So,
is your
Paula-
moment with the guys.
Yeah. So, what were I going to say then?
Look, she's all flustered because she's talking to you. Look.
Go on.
Go on, Paul.
Come on, Paula.
Go on.
This is like going live, isn't it?
Said, oh yeah. So, do you think it's too sexy for you? What is it now then?
We're not too sexy for anything, actually. No. Well, too sexy for Keir Starmer. That's for sure.
My shoes, that's a bit of a challenge.
Did you enjoy your fame?
I do. I enjoy it more now than I did back then.
Yeah, we enjoy.
think.
Yeah, we enjoy the way we work now, which is independent and how we don't have
Yeah.
managers or anybody, so we
yeah.
we please ourselves. Yeah, and
I've just been watching the whole thing from the start.
okay.
I hit one of the guys. The one on the right hand side who lost a partner.
Me.
Oh yes,
That's me.
that's
Yeah.
Richard. Yes,
Yeah.
It's lucky she was listening to the show,
Been
right?
extremely difficult.
it's very difficult.
it-
Yes.
That was when AIDS was like on the TV and like a grave.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we've been through this, Paula. It was very. Open it
was.
all up again.
Did you get, but just to follow on from that, just to follow on from that, I've got friends of mine who lived through the 80s and the early 90s when the people were literally saying the gay plague and all this sort of thing.
It was, yeah.
I mean, how much abuse did you get during that period, or did people just not? Did they associate you with it?
Yeah, they did. We got quite a lot of abuse. Yeah.
Yeah, one day, on one occasion, I was in my car, which was a sports car, had the top down, sunny day.
Thanks, man.
There was a car, we stopped at the lights, car on my right, and this guy had kids in the car, and he leaned across the passenger seat in the front, over his kids, wound down the window and spat at me.
Wow.
Classic.
Classic.
I mean, actually, if he wanted to
And it was-
avoid HIV, that's probably not. Exchanging bodily fluids. is probably
it was a bit weird. I had fag scratched on my car. And
Well, I'll tell you what was funny about when I watched I'm Too Sexy. So I was a young teenager at the time. We were like, look at those hard lads, they could fight anyone. And we didn't quite, at all boys private school, when we were young teenagers, we didn't quite get the joke.
Right.
But we were like, look, the bodybuilders, the hard lads. I'll tell you what, you took him down the Irish club, he'd be able to fight anyone like that. That's the way we thought of it.
yeah.
That's the way we thought of it. But, there was an element of the fact that you were trying to be more fun than perhaps all the serious, the George Michael type, can't say this, can't say that, have to be much more serious. And you're just three guys having a laugh.
Yeah, we sort of. Yeah, we were sort of taking the piss a little bit, but also we enjoy what we did.
Yes.
It was a mix. It was
and
a
also,
mix. Yeah.
It's not a comedy act,
No,
clearly.
exactly. But with Deeply Dippy, for instance, the label wouldn't have anything to do with it. They would have, because it wasn't a dance track. And they said
They
to
tried
us,
to keep off the album,
They
didn't they?
tried to keep it off the album. And our position has always been: if you dig the track, you release it.
But
That's
wasn't
all
that
it is.
actually your biggest number one?
In the UK.
That's the one.
Right
that sold-
Said Fred was originally the Bernard Cribbin
It
song
was.
produced by George Martin
It
because he
was.
was the comedic sort
Yes,
of guy
right.
at EMI.
We
Wasn't
was,
he?
yeah.
we
It
did
was,
a
yeah.
track with George Martin. in fact.
Air Studios. Yeah.
At Air Studios, yeah.
Was it annoying that it wasn't called, Right Said Richard?
Right Said Dickie and
It doesn't
Fred.
work, does it? But
Well, I think Right Said Dick sounds more like a porn film. doesn't it?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No,
Kay, let's go to Kay in Lancashire. It's like going live.
It is like going live.
The
This is great.
5-star interview.
This is great. We just don't have
Or
Schofield.
Matt Bianco.
Thank God.
Kay.
Oh, hi, guys.
Hello.
All right, Kay.
Hello.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Yeah, well, thank you. How are you?
All I'm going to say is I had a few drinks tonight,
Okay.
so I apologise.
You're
for
drunk,
it.
aren't you, Kay?
guys? well, I'm slightly a bit tipsy.
It's all right.
Okay, it's all right.
That's fine.
Well, like the going live audience, really.
I'm a little bit deeply dippy.
Okay.
Go on then.
But I'm just going to say, what are your views on the politics situation at this moment?
Oh
In
dear. We haven't got time for that.
Wow, that's a big.
That's a big
question.
story.
I think we're being led by some very unpleasant, ill-meaning people.
Yeah.
And I think I'm finding it hard to see someone who puts the country first. Maybe Rupert Lowe with the gang inquiry is interesting, but I think the House of Commons generally do not have our best interests
They're
at
the
heart.
enemy of the
But would,
people.
you, but would you ever run? Because I will say this: I first became aware of Richard living near me when the Windsor Labour Party got in touch and said, we have received a leaflet that we put through somebody's door and it says, F off, I wouldn't wee on you if you were on fire, from Richard Fairbrass. And they said,
you do that?
They said, is it possible that Right Said Fred have moved to Windsor and specifically wrote to him?
It's possible.
And I said, listen, that guy has moved in, and he is a no, and he is. I mean, the right element was correct. It wasn't left said Fred, was it?
Well,
I don't know.
I grew up
You're a Labour Party member, weren't you?
I was going to join the Liberals initially when I was a kid, and then I went to see Tony Blair speak twice. I voted for him twice, and I have to. I know, and I have to say, live I saw him in the Hammersmith Odeon. Not the Hammersmith, like the council offices there, and he was just really good.
Yeah,
he is really.
But isn't there an element here?
Snake oil salesman.
Yeah, he's.
But isn't there an element here where most people actually are not left or right? They just say that decency and morality and honour has disappeared. We're currently watching a scenario unfold where a cabinet minister, when whatever you think of Gordon Brown, the country had no money. We'd completely run out. These asset sales are being leaked to a hedge fund in New York. And Peter Mandelson has been on the TV tonight to say his defence is, I didn't take any money off that, I did it for free. Oh well, in that case,
Well done, Peter.
I would take out if my brother had done that, I wouldn't speak to him again.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Do you remember back in the day, Harold Wilson used to go to the Scilly Isles for a holiday? Now he would fly on a private jet to Barbados and charge it all to the punter. You know, there's a as Fred says, there's some really bad actors, and for some reason, and I don't understand where it started, there seems to be no commitment to, one, being truthful, two, being honourable, and three, looking after the people first.
With that in mind,
I don't get it.
We have had a message in asking you about your views on Ukraine. Now, I know this has been controversial. I don't know if you know my views. My views are that war is terrible. I've been involved in the war in Ukraine. My view is that all war is a crime. You shouldn't violate somebody else's country, but we have to remember that the mistreatment of ethnic minorities in Eastern Europe is dreadful, and that the Ukrainian government's performance towards Russian minorities was dreadful. I hate this. Everyone's, there's goodies and baddies.
I agree. Well, the trouble is that I noticed it first during Brexit. There was no nuance. Yeah. If you're pro Brexit, you're a gammon. If you're pro Remainer, you're a fascist or communist, whatever. Remainer. So there was it was impossible to have that conversation in any detail. So I voted Leave, not because for any other reason other than I do not believe in big organisations.
Yeah, me too.
We have our own sovereignty.
Yeah, I just don't believe.
That's me. I'd be honest with you. I was well in favour of free movement as long as you had those temporary limits on people when they came into the EU, like Poland. The problem is, it was all about big government. I mean, I was always thinking, if the EU's so marvellous, where's my high-speed international rail connection?
Also, it was when we voted for Brexit and we saw with our eyes, they all tried to. Starmer did the speaking. And anyway, Kay, you're still there, aren't you?
Just quickly, how damaging was it to your career to express some political views?
We mean with Brexit or with COVID?
No, I mean with any of it.
Brexit, not really.
Not really.
COVID, we were cancelled we were we're still cancelled to a degree over here. The UK, England, yeah.
Because we've all been told, and obviously this show ignores it. Don't book Right Said Fred.
Yeah.
They're extremists on on COVID.
They're called far right, said Fred.
Yeah. No, we've
Lord,
yeah,
it's just so
we had
stupid.
a book. Autobiography was cancelled.
Wow.
About 100 shows. We had a film cancelled. We had
adverts.
about 2 or 3 commercials
We
cancelled.
lost a lot of money.
And then we had sort of usual, we had death threats and the all usual sort of.
And as I said to other people, never been honoured by the government in a way that's normally.
Is this because of the Brexit thing?
No, that's because
of the COVID.
Because we said our position was, if you want to get vaccinated, fine, but just don't push it on me. It should be down to the individual.
Yeah. And you were right. It turns out probably.
Hey, but by the way, where you lived, I mean, you two were self. I mean, I was living on my own.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I've always been completely honest about this. My mother was dying during COVID. I was put under house arrest, as you were, but I was on my own. You know, it started with a glass of wine at 5 o'clock, and then it became earlier and earlier and earlier. And I was eating yesterday's pizza and drinking vodka for breakfast. Right? That's what happened.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a taxi to Slough to get vaccinated. I mean, if I'm going to have to sit on my own, at least
The vodka probably kept you all right. Anyway, Kay, you're still there. You're still with the lads.
I'm still here. Well, I can't get a word with
No,
that.
you go.
Kay.
Let's leave you alone with the lads.
Go on,
Sorry,
Kay.
no.
Go on.
All I'm going to say, boys, I adore you. I grew up with you. My goodness, you're amazing, and keep fighting that political fight because
That's
you're
very
amazing.
kind of you. Thank you very much. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thanks,
Take care,
Kay.
darling.
Yeah, I just feel really strongly about truth telling and remembering the principles upon which we all agree. Have the right to demur rather, the right to argue, the right to choose, the right to speak, all these
which has all been banned since Blair.
To what
really,
extent?
Gradually.
To what extent? Look, we end up in this studio having come from completely different backgrounds on this, but it seems to me that in some way I can't explain, being a musician is about telling a story of your age.
Yes.
Now, it's not like writing an essay like I would do, so I can't necessarily explain how that is, but it seems to me to be logical that in the way that I'm Too Sexy is about, I would have suggested, the fun and hope of the 1990s. Right. Soviet Union was falling, it's all going to be marvellous. We're all going to be friends together. In 1995, we believed there would never be a war again, all that sort of thing. It seems to me that social commentary and politics actually are the same thing. How is that true, or am I talking garbage?
No, I think they are. The sadness, I think, is a lot of pop music has stopped. All pop music seems to me has stopped commentating pretty much. So if you go back into the 60s and early 70s, some of the biggest stars, Joan Baez and Bob Dylan, and some of these people, their social commentary was the spine of what they did. And now it's all I'm in love with your body by Ed Sheeran.
Well, they do have like that one Billie Eilish. They have stupid thoughts, that where they've got to go along with the crowd, like we all live on stolen land. We'll give it back to the Indians then.
Yeah, I know that was.
It's very very woke.
I think we just
horrific.
But that then begs the question. Could two normal blokes like you having a bit of fun, making music that you think is cool, could you do it nowadays? Because it seems to me,
I think you could.
Could you
through online, social media?
You never get
so
signed.
Ignoring the record labels.
Yeah, we wouldn't go near them. No. You don't need to. There's a rapper called Tom McDonald, does really, really well. 5 times August.
All online.
Because I watch these big record labels, and what makes me what makes me happy is at least I'm not a bloody shareholder.
Yes.
Because I mean, they're losing money left, right, and centre. They're saying, "Oh, Dylan Mulvaney will like a Bud Light." Well, nobody else is offering it.
I know.
Well, the thing to remember, every artist should remember that what happens is when you go into a label, you think the guy behind the desk has got all the power. That's what you think when you're a kid, and it's not true. The person with the power is you, the artist, because you have the product, and that's what they want. Then what drives me mad is when artists...
Yeah, but you haven't got the power when you sign for them. This is what Prince and George...
No.
They didn't have the power when they signed because they weren't fine.
I disagree, because they want a lump of your money.
That's what they
That's
want.
The reality.
Yeah.
Because they're going...
Yeah, but you don't have power when, like George Michael, you haven't got power at first.
But
then
you
you have
can.
big hits.
You can. Yes, you can. If you've got enough leverage.
Yeah.
If you've got enough, well, now,
And
now it'd be followers. But
So I want to. So we're going to go to a break, but I'm going to ask you a question, and we're going to think about it because it's going to be a taste for afterwards. Loads of people now worried about their children and grandchildren, nieces and nephews, about how they can be successful in this age where it seems like big tech owns everything.
Right.
Sounds like you've got some ideas on that.
But also, let's talk about AI, because a lot of musicians say now it's actually doing better songs than us. So 03444991000. Couldn't do I'm Too Sexy. It's Talk with Andre and Ash. And Right Said Fred back in a couple of minutes.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Talk, Andre and Ash, and we've got Right Said Fred with us. Give us a ring if you want to talk to the guys. They're here for a few more minutes. 03444991000. And there is Janice has called in. She's not been listening to the show, but she's a big fan. Janice.
Hiya.
Hi,
guys. There's something to hear from you, because I don't know if you agree with me, but I think music has really got so boring. Now, it might be my age,
Right.
but I do. I mean, how many successful? I mean, you got Swifty.
Yeah.
She is brilliant.
Yeah,
She's
good
got
old
that
Swifty.
screwed on. Yeah.
But you're right, you don't have the big pop stars, or maybe it's because we're old, but you don't have the... It's different, isn't it, in this Spotify era?
I think the
I
gate.
love music,
Yeah.
but I found it all sounds the same now.
That's because it's written by the same people, released by the same people,
yeah.
and produced by the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been sampled by
But you
Drake,
guys were
Beyonce,
fun.
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift, so you do all
So
right.
say
for
that
me.
again?
Yeah, you guys were fun. Where's all the fun gone?
I think, well, there's not much fun in the UK right now, generally. And I
No.
think
Well, I know, but we've got to try and find some where we can find it, haven't we? And music is a good fun.
I think art reflects the world around it. And to that extent, I think it's all
Yeah,
got a
but
bit bland.
In the recession, like in the 70s, this is when glam rock and Slade came out. So maybe we're entering that sort
Changed
of...
it.
Maybe.
Yeah, the
very different times.
Yeah,
back
the
then.
trouble is,
Very
you
different
couldn't. A guy couldn't get on stage like David Bowie did back in the day and do the whole, sort of androgynous thing, because he'd be accused of being
He'd get cancelled.
He'd get cancelled
Yeah.
because
But
he's
it's-
transphobic. It's all,
Like comedians, you can't really
No,
get
you
there.
can't. I was watching
it's-
Andrew
it's-
Lawrence the other day.
It seems to me, I mean, I've never received anything from this company telling me what to say or what to do or anything like that. But it seems to me that's what every artist gets.
They
Say
do.
this, do that.
Artists are really weak.
Billie Eilish is like the McDonald's of music.
Yeah.
Let's just come up with any old rubbish and stick it out.
Yeah. No, I agree.
What we discovered during COVID and the animosity we had from other artists is that they are they are terrified to put their head above the parapet.
Why are you not?
Why are we not?
Yeah, honestly.
I don't care. Don't care what people think.
Do you still mix in every celebrity circles?
No.
Or,
No, we
did
never
you
have.
used to, though?
Never
Well,
have.
we tried it, and I didn't
We
really.
don't. Well, you end up talking to some very boring people.
Did you
didn't
meet
like
like
it.
George Michael and
Didn't
people
really
like
meet.
that?
I met George a couple of times. We met a lot. The only person we did hang out with who I really liked was
Michael Hutchins.
Was Michael Hutchins.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, he
In
was,
excess.
yeah.
He was a lovely
He
man.
didn't care, did he?
No, he was a lovely man.
The reality is about celebrity hangouts, they're all right until they get on the sniff. And then they will bore you shedless for hours. Like you're going, oh, just get out. And we can't say this we can't say which individuals, but there are some people that you've seen on the telly who seem fun. They will bore your arse off.
Have you got any good Michael Hutchins story that you had a few nights out?
We
with
had,
Michael?
We got blottoed at Blake's.
We got
which is
blottoed at Blake's.
Yeah, Blake's is gone. And we had a good night with him at the music awards in Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
That was
And
fun.
did you ever meet Kylie? Because they had a little
Yeah.
thing, didn't
Yeah, we did.
She's
Yeah,
all- I met her once. She's
Yeah,
all right,
right,
isn't she?
yeah.
Great bottom.
Yeah, lovely bottom.
Yeah.
I can't
Very
stand
small.
her.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can't stand her, no?
No, I can't stand her.
Okay.
Sting was very nice. We met Sting.
I
at-
know the substance.
Was he nice, Sting?
Yeah, he was actually.
He
To
Right
us.
to us.
He was all right
me.
to
Yeah,
you.
he
Yeah, he
was
wasn't
to
all
us,
right to Andy Summers, was he?
No.
Yeah,
With every
they've-
breath you take.
I know.
Yeah,
I
they've
know,
had a
I
bit
know.
of a. Well, I don't know.
Because that guitar bit is important in it, isn't it? It's vital.
Absolutely, exactly.
Yeah,
well, I
yeah.
think when you get to any artist that doesn't, it's a team effort always. It doesn't matter, even if you're the main writer, you've got guys around you that make.
Well,
make the
some
whole
bands
thing
like
work.
Queen, they always split the money whoever wrote
yeah,
it. So
yeah,
they all
they should.
got
I think
credits,
they should.
didn't they?
Well, they should have stopped the minute Freddie died.
Personally.
Do you think so?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, they weren't Queen without.
No.
Freddie Mercury.
But you weren't Queen without the. Sorry, you weren't Fred. you weren't right said Fred without that other one.
Hey, the guy with the hair. That was who was the real star, the man. The guy with the hair.
I sat there.
my head in shame.
I will tell you. I saw you on the telly and I thought, what a bloody rip-off. The main one's gone.
Yasmin.
Hello.
Hey, darling.
She's a witch, Yasmin, just to let you know.
Hey, darlings. I hope you don't mind, lads. Right, said Fred, but I'll tell you a few things that have popped up
Go on.
since I've been watching you both.
She gets
Right.
things in her
First
mind.
thing I'm getting is you should write a Eurovision song and do it
We've
yourself.
been asked many times.
Oh, my God,
And
please.
we've always said
Would
no.
you do it? You wouldn't do it.
Is-
Why not?
It's just political BS.
It's political bunkum.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, go on, darling.
listen,
Go on.
Let me
I think you'd
explain
win.
We
what
would
I'm
win, though,
saying.
yeah.
Sorry?
One of you is going to live, you know, Monaco, the Principality.
Yes.
They've got like all those boats.
Yeah.
One of you's going there, and I'm sure one of you's going to get living there, and it's going to be very lucky for you, and it's going to be brilliant.
Okay.
One of you is remodelling a kitchen, or going to be remodelling a kitchen.
Which one?
He's laughing. He's
Okay,
right.
all right.
Remodelling the
Well, it's
kitchen.
funny you say that. My wife is looking at a couple of properties at the moment, so
There
you never
go.
know.
You
Can I
see?
just say, both of you are going to get a connection with California. Now, I don't know why, but the Beach Boys popped up with that. So there's going
There's
to be...
actually a California in Birmingham, so...
Is it really?
Yeah, there is.
I didn't know that.
Named after a guy who
Well,
went
you'll
in the
find
gold
out.
rush in the 1860s, made a load of money and came back.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Sorry, Yasmin.
Well,
More
go on.
premonitions, please.
go on, Yasmin, go on. Sorry.
There's going to be a connection with the Beach Boys. It's to do with the music. It's very important. That's going to be coming up. And that's going to be coming up around July this year.
Okay, darling.
One of you's got a knee problem, a problem with one of your knees.
Yeah, but that's not... They're in there. They're getting on. We've all got knee problems.
Yeah.
No, this is
I'm
good, Yasmin.
110.
Please listen, because I
Sorry.
don't want you to miss
We mustn't
what
mock
go-
it.
no,
No,
I'm listening,
don't
I'm
mock
listening.
it.
Go on,
Don't-
say again.
don't
Go on,
mock it.
go on, Yasmin, go on.
both of you are going to be in a movie together, and the person I saw connected to it was Madonna's ex, Guy Ritchie.
Okay.
And also, somebody around you, either you or somebody, collects either comic books or cartoon memorabilia. Do you understand that?
I do.
I don't understand that.
Also-
Okay, go on, sorry. Go on.
Also, wait a minute, what's that say? I had to write this down quick, you
I
see.
just have to make it up
I
quickly.
also got the name Lenny.
Motorhead, Lenny.
Lenny,
Yeah.
Lena and Michelle. I also feel when I look at that Monaco thing, it's more than just a tax haven. It's something to do with a business.
Okay.
But there's a massive thing to do with yachts concerning it.
Well, my wife used to live in Monaco.
I also think that one of
Yachts
you...
in Monaco. Who would have thought it? Yachts in...
No, I think we've got to get Right Said Fred to answer, but we're going to... Yasmin, we've got to get...
Hold it.
Yasmin, stop for a second. So we're going to get Richard to answer first. What have you got a dodgy knee in a yacht in Monaco?
Let's wait for the... We've got to take a little breaky, haven't we? Let's find out if you're...
In Neasden.
Stay there, Yasmin. We're going to come back with a... Can you stay as well for another... Because everyone's loving you out there.
Right,
Can you stay?
yeah, we can.
Okay, we'll be back with all of us after this.
All right.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yes, this is The Late Show with Andre Walker, Asher Gould. Really proud to say our co-hosts this evening are Right Said Fred. I feel like we should have an audience and sort of applaud or whatever. But Yasmin, don't worry, we're going to keep you on for a bit longer, but she's already said some things. She's asked Richard if you have a dodgy knee. She's asked about whether you want a new kitchen. So what have you heard so far? Because I'll be honest with you, right, I always take the mick out of people who do these sorts of readings or whatever. But the number of people who've gone, yeah, actually, she's quite good. It's quite high. So go on, Richard, has she said anything that's landed yet?
Well, the dodgy knee is right.
You had a knee up, didn't you?
Although we made a joke that we had a dodgy yacht in Neasden, which is
not the same thing.
Not the same thing.
Are you going to go to Monaco?
My wife used to live in Monaco.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, she did. When
So basically, the reason you've got money is you married well, if I'm being honest.
actually, but sadly,
it's all gone now.
Sadly, when we got married, it all gone.
Yeah, you must get a decent royalty check every year.
Yeah, we do, right? Yeah.
We do all right. Yeah, we do.
But do I mean, we'll keep Yasmin on after the break, actually, because you can do more readings. But in terms of...
Make more stuff up.
Look, without being funny, if you're on the telly, if you're in the music industry, people think you're absolutely loaded.
Yeah,
and there are some people who are, there's some people who aren't.
Yeah.
It seems to me, from what I've seen of you, you do well, right? You're not frigging, private jetting around the world or whatever.
No.
But it sounds to me like whatever deal you did in the old days with I'm Too Sexy and Deeply Dippy and whatever, ensures that when it is regularly played, you are all right.
Yes, we get paid.
Because you didn't get a deal is what stood you in good stead, probably.
Yeah,
To a degree.
And also, we've been pretty careful.
Yeah, we are.
I think.
We've never really done the big I am. We're just not me.
Do you know what I really like about the two of you? And I only know you a little bit, but it seems to me like you've always been there for each other, and the kind of oh my God, Richard's partner's died, I'm going to be over here regularly, and all this sort of thing, I think is just commendable. I just think it's commendable what you've done for each other, and the fact that people see you or believe you're a couple is actually because in the sense of being in the sense of being people who've always been there for each other.
Yeah.
You know, people are obsessed with sex. You know, some people that you love are your family. Some people that you love are your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Although under Starmer's label, we could actually sleep together and everything would be cool, wouldn't it?
The NHS recommend it. Kim says the boys have a gift that makes you smile when you see or hear them. I don't know if they mean us or you. No, I think it's that's because their music, it's us, has great lyrics and tunes. Love you guys. Please come back soon. Love you too, Ash and Andre. Janice, by the way, she's still here. You got anything else? You've thought of anything else, Janice?
I did miss why they got that name.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe we're asking for recaps on earlier in the...
No, we haven't actually found that out, because it was a Bernard Cribbins.
Yeah, the song,
we'll tell you now.
The name of the band, Right Said Fred, comes from the Bernard Cribbins song from 1963, Right Said Fred.
Yeah.
But why?
Well, what happened back in the
song?
That's a great song.
When we were kids,
No, you're
when the band started,
Janice, no, Janice. Sorry.
when we started off, you had to have when you were having gigs in Time Out, you had to get the advert in by a Thursday noon, I think.
Whatever, yes.
And we had no name for the band.
And Fred went, right.
No, actually, what is Fred's a girl that we knew at the
Silence,
time.
Janice.
Hold it. Well, the girl that we knew at the time, she had heard
Janice.
Right Said Fred on the radio.
She knocked on the door.
And she knocked on the door and said, what about Right Said Fred as a name? So we said yes, never thinking that it would last more than a week.
Did you ever meet Cribbins?
Yes,
we did.
Got a photo
He's a
with
nice
him.
guy. He seemed
Lovely
like that.
man.
I never met him. But
Lovely man.
George Martin, did you ever meet?
Yeah, we did a record with him.
What, in his studios?
In Air Studios.
Studios.
Yeah.
Which?
We did. It was a.
If I Could See an Elephant Fly.
Yeah, it was a cover version. If I Could See an Elephant Fly.
Yeah. For the. Do you remember?
That's why the Beatles went to him, because they thought, oh, they're a comedy sort of act. Give them to the comedy producer, which anyway. Look, they're going to stay for 15 more minutes.
Oh,
so if you've got any questions, 0344 499 1000. They're not just a band now. Right Said Fred are a political think tank. So give us a ring, 0344 499 1000.
It's called Soft Right.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll be back after news. Andre and Ash, Right Said Fred, right.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Okay, this is the Late Show with Andre Walker, Asher Gould and Right Said Fred. Don't worry, there's loads of time. Right Said Fred have agreed to hang around. I've got to be honest with you, though. Peter's got in touch, and he said that the number one thing that we need from Right Said Fred is a cover version, which is related to Keir Starmer's career and whether he'll survive for the next 2 months as Prime Minister. It's I believe pigs can fly. I believe they can touch the sky. I think you've got to do that. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. Right. Asher and I now are going to say nothing for the next bit.
We're going to sing.
That's
all we're going to do is we're going to put you straight through to Right Said Fred, and they're going to take over for a little bit.
Okay.
So Yasmin, you're now going to go back. You're through to Right Said Fred.
Hey, Yasmin.
Hi, darling. I also got quadrophenia connected to you both.
Okay.
And I also feel you will do a TV special, which is an evening with Right Said Fred, like Bublé does.
Oh, okay.
Michael Bublé.
Michael Bubble.
I also got the Jam and the Clash connected to you both in the past. Do you understand that?
We've done gigs with Bruce Foxton.
Yeah, we've done shows with him, yeah. He's a lovely man, Bruce Foxton.
The best thing about the Jam, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Weller's become a bit of a tosser lately, isn't he, with his views?
They're all so...
Well, thank you, Yasmin. We appreciate that.
Yeah, that's very kind.
We're just coming in to sort your mic out, Richard.
Also, I see 2 little dogs near you on the right with the sunglasses on. Sorry, I forgot your name.
No, he's given up on 2 little dogs.
That one, Richard.
Wasn't that was a Rolf Harris song, wasn't it?
He's got a couple of dogs coming,
I
isn't he?
see 2 little dogs next to him.
Oh.
And they're like Shih Tzus, you know, with the ones that they have the ribbon in the hair.
Oh, those, yeah, okay.
A couple of Shih Tzus next to you.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Diane, but we do like dogs. We're big dog fans.
Yeah, we like dogs.
I'm telling you what I'm seeing.
Absolutely.
And I also feel I got the name Molly connected to you both.
Molly, we don't know Molly at the moment, no.
Remember, I promise you'll remember it.
Okay.
But the other thing is...
Well, they haven't remembered it.
That move, what's standing out to me on this is Monaco, California, and that movie. That movie is going to be brilliant.
All right, okay.
You're both going to be in it.
Are we? Okay, all
Well,
right.
it should be.
Great.
It's about it. Anyway, Janice, you still there, Janice?
Thank you, Yasmin.
Janice, have you thought of anything else?
No, I haven't, but I'm just going to say thank you for brightening my day with all this dreary stuff.
Thanks, Janice. Right,
Okay, let's get some
Let's
other
go back
calls
to
in.
Yasmin. Yasmin, yeah, get the Grace and Mark.
And
Yasmin.
I forgot to tell you, one of them's got a lucky Buddha. Very lucky Buddha. It could be jewellery or something like that, but it's a lucky Buddha.
Every time you say something, they both look confused.
Well, I do have. I have a Buddha picture. It's huge.
Everyone's got,
you do, don't you?
Everyone's got a Buddha at home, haven't
Yeah.
they?
You could always talk to Buddha and tell him what you want, and
All
he'll
right.
bring it.
Anyway,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Yasmin. Let's go,
Yasmin.
Carol.
Thank you so
Carol.
Hiya.
Hey, yeah, Carol. Hey,
Stevenage, Carol. How you doing? You're through to Right.
Hello.
Well done.
And Ash, love you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carol.
Thank you. Right.
Go
Let's
on.
cut the bullshit here, yeah?
Yeah.
It ain't about the grooming games. After that, we're going to go on to the Caribbean grooming games. The only difference is they took children out of care homes.
This is for Right.
and sold
What's
them
this
on
got to do with
Seven
Right Said
Sisters
Fred?
Road. They sold them on Seven Sisters Road, yeah?
Okay.
No, but hang on. On the serious note about that, you know, you've expressed concerns about these grooming gangs
Yes.
and the fact that you just believe there should be some dignity by people who are in charge. Not, you know, there's always going to be criminals, but the
there
fact
is.
that people at the top of our society are letting it happen is disgusting.
And police, too.
And also,
Social services.
as far as I know, I might be wrong, but the only people I know covered it, news channels, was GB News. And I don't... Have the BBC covered it? ITV?
No, and well, actually, Wikipedia has said that there has been a far-right social panic about grooming gangs.
Far-right social panic?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I'll tell you what was sad about all that. What was sad about all that was that those people who covered up for it are what they are. They are people who believe that a multicultural society and uncontrolled immigration is more important than the safety of children.
Yes.
They're just quite open.
But Rupert Lowe has got his private investigation going, and he's got a barrister. Apparently, they're finding some horrendous stuff, and this is forcing the government to act.
Well, what's interesting, also mustn't be forgotten, both the government and Reform both committed to an inquiry, and both have
failed.
reneged
Which
on
is
it.
why Rupert Lowe has done a great thing there.
I've got to be honest with you. I think that idea that I think Rupert Lowe had when he was in Reform, which was to say, well, hang on a second, you can set up an all-party parliamentary group with 10 signatures from MPs and just say, right, we're using the committee rooms and inviting people over. If I was a member of Parliament, that's what I'd do. I'd go, if there's no official inquiry, I'll just get me and 10 of my mates, and we'll just invite witnesses. And you could do that.
So why didn't that happen?
I honestly believe that Rupert Lowe failed to persuade Nigel Farage that doing it that way was the way to do it. Nigel wanted to force an official inquiry. Now, to me, an all-party parliamentary group is still an official body of Parliament. So if you can't get them to do a public inquiry, if you can't get them to set up a select committee or a standing committee or whatever, which for constitutional reasons is quite hard to do, and I do accept that. Then why not just say, well, we are the all-party parliamentary group for the absence of the abuse of children, and we're calling witnesses.
I'm not sure the word official would help people believe that it was credible either. The word official, I think people are so cynical now.
But I mean, what was amazing was you look at that little girl who heavily drugged, managed to make it out. She called a taxi, got in the taxi, went back to the children's home, and they said, well, you haven't paid for the taxi, phoned the abusers who paid for the taxi and then shipped her back.
I know. I know.
Prison should be.
No, I agree. I agree.
Mark, in London, you're through to the guys.
Hello, mate.
Hello, fellas. How you doing?
Good.
All right. How are you, Mark?
Listen, I remember when you had your gym in Putney Bridge Road.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah, and did you ever drink with Phil Lynott and the Spotted Horse?
No, we
Phil Lynott.
I know the Spotted Horse.
We used to see Phil in Putney now and again, and Scott Gorham, but we never had a drink with them. No.
The Spotted Horse was on Putney High.
What's that,
Mark? Wasn't the Spotted Horse on Putney High Street?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I know the one you mean.
I remember it. I remember it very
No,
well.
I never had a drink with him, but I did see him now and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to see him a bit. I mean, to be honest, fellas, I mean, that I'm Too Sexy was not my sort of music, but it was a great gimmicky record.
Right.
How dare you?
No, you understand what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
It was a big hit. Like, you had other things like the Weather Girls, which was crap. But, like, you don't seem to get that anymore. All bands and all singers all want to sing the flipping
I think a lot of labels are very risk averse. Radio is very controlled by the labels, and a lot of artists are cowards.
Yeah.
You don't get much novelties. You get political ones. You don't really
I
get
was watching
novelty.
Madness today. Our House.
Great song.
Absolutely brilliant.
Great song. Yeah.
Completely
Do you remember? I'm going to ask this to Mark. I mean, wasn't that a great time when you used to turn on your TV for the Top of the Pops? I mean, obviously some of the presenters discredited now, but
most of them.
But actually, you know, who was at number 2 and who was at number 1 was exciting. Whereas now you just go, it's all the same.
Nobody cares.
Well, also now, back in the day, everybody knew who number 1 was. But now,
there's no real difference between number 1, number 2, number 3.
Yeah, it's all this Spotify.
Also, the one thing that was great about Top of the Pops back in the day was that because it was just based on chart position, pretty much, you would have Carter and the Unstoppable Sex Machine right next to Baccarat. Do you know what I mean?
And the BBC couldn't stop you really if you got in there.
There was no sort of overarching kind of taste fascists deciding what you can and can't hear. It was just a bit of everything.
Well, that's what I think it was, what Frank Zappa said. They said, it must have been terrible when there was just some fat rich bloke running the record companies. Now you've got proper... and he went, no, actually, it was better when it was a fat rich bloke who didn't know anything about music, because he'd just say, well, we'll give that people a go rather than people going...
Sorry, everyone. Richard Furbress has destroyed the studio for the 5th time. I'll tell you what we'll do. Why don't we go for an early break and we're going to come back with it? We can't do that.
No, we can't. Let's go Grimsby, Robert in Grimsby. You're through to the guys.
Right, Richard.
How are you doing tonight?
Richard, no, stop for 1 second. Stop for 1 second. Richard, stop destroying the studio.
Well, I can't help it, you see.
That's what they do, these pop stars, that's what they do.
can't help it.
Most people throw the telly out the
I was going
window.
to say, you don't have a television to throw out the window, so...
But they're rubbish now, they're not those big tellies. Right, Robert,
Go on, Robert.
Grimsby.
How are you?
Yeah, hi Andre, hi Ash, hi Right Said Fred.
Hi, mate. How are you?
Why can't I hear that?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed you both tonight. It's
Thank
been
you.
two of the best guests that Andre and Ash have ever had.
Thank
Come
you very
back
much.
again soon.
Very kind.
Sorry, stop.
what I wanted to say-
Stop. Richard has broken the studio again. This time he can't hear.
What is the
Right,
matter with you?
Richard, my dad has messaged in saying
Sorry,
these
mate.
are two of the best guests you've ever had, but stop destroying
Yes.
the studio.
Sorry, go on,
I
Robert.
don't know what's going
Go
on
on,
here.
Robert.
Right, well, it's a small price to pay for such great guests anyway. Right, what I wanted to say was I've really enjoyed listening to you both tonight, and I'm sorry about everything that's gone on in your life, Richard. You've been very honest, you've been very open. It's just been a fantastic listen. So, all credit to you. I grew up in Grimsby Bob, as Andre calls me. And I've got to be honest, I'm the other side of 50, nearer 60, and I remember when you first came out.
Right.
And to be fair, I think you were quite groundbreaking at the time, because Grimsby is like a white supremacist theme park, back in the 80s and 90s. But I've got to be honest, you go into some of the hardest pubs and you go up to the jukebox and you get like scaffolders, and fishermen putting on I'm Too Sexy and dancing around with a pint of beer. You kind of broke through a lot of kind of stereotypes at the time. We really enjoyed you. Enjoy you now. Enjoy you on Twitter. You're great, or an X as it's called.
Thank you very much,
keep
very
up the
kind.
good work.
There's an old saying that says it's very hard to hit somebody who's smiling. So that's our
I know
thing.
you haven't been to Grimsby.
I think we've actually played in Grimsby.
We have actually played.
I'm sure
in
we
Grimsby.
have.
I think we have. Yeah.
Yeah, or Cleethorpes, the pier, I
Oh,
think.
yeah,
but
Clearthorpes.
anyway.
Yeah, we played there.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just been. I'm not going to go on too much.
All right,
I
mate.
enjoy you. I follow you on Twitter.
Okay,
It's been great.
thank you,
guests, and I'll
thank you,
speak to Andre
Robert.
and
Now
Ash
listen,
soon.
Thank you,
we've
Robert.
been
Thanks,
talking
Robert.
during the break
All the best,
with
bye-bye.
there has to be a Right Said Fred biopic. We've got now the guy who's going to play Richard. Here we go. Come on, go between them. Go on. Don't knock the camera. Don't knock the camera. Here it is. This is Phil Dave.
Take your hat off.
for the big reveal.
It's uncanny.
There we go.
It's your long lost brother.
Get the glasses off. Come on.
Right. It's quite bright in here.
Your glasses off. Look.
yeah.
There we go.
Hello.
Hey, I want to say to you, Right Said Fred, thank you so much for, honestly, just giving us so much fun over the years
Thank you.
by setting up a pop group. I mean, obviously, I was disappointed to say the main one left, but anyway.
Rob's a sweet
The guy with the hair was
the guy with the
amazing.
hair
We
was
could have got him in. I mean,
He's all right. Rob.
Listen, he's doing his own thing. Don't worry about that.
He is, yeah.
But thank you so much for all the fun you've given us over the years.
Pleasure,
And also, do you know something? It's so great to have two people who are in a powerful and important position, who actually take that seriously, who actually believe in something and believe that this country actually can be great, the artistic community can be great, and we can be a good country.
We can, absolutely. We just need to be a bit more. We need a bit of a spine, I think.
anyway,
Wow.
it's been great having you in, and
Thank
here's
you.
your new member taking with
There
you.
it is,
Take
yeah,
it
look
back.
at him, look at him.
That's how I make it feel.
It's fair to say he's not quite as good looking as the originals, but
But we'll have to get you in again, and because
He's like-
you've got so many political views
I've
now.
just worked out,
Yeah.
we look like the end of a sentence when you're continuing something. It looks like dot, dot, dot.
I've got to be honest with you. If you are like Coca-Cola original, he's Roller Cola. He's
Right,
like
said Fred, right.
it is similar, but
is
it's just
similar.
not quite right.
You know, if we go to break, this is uncomfortable.
Thank you so much, Right Said Fred.
right,
We will be back with you, taking your calls just in a couple of moments.
across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Right, I know that this is the press preview, but we've got Phil Dave in. Look, we've just got to reflect.
All right, Dave.
We've just got to reflect on what has just happened. Them two, I just love them. What was your... I mean, we dragged you in just because you were a bit bald, but they're so much fun, aren't
Well,
they?
they're role models for you, aren't they?
Who are they? No, I'm joking. No. Right So Fred are amazing. Absolutely fantastic. And the fact that you managed to get such legendary pop group into the studio with another legendary duo, I personally, I think it's fantastic.
It's so much, isn't it? Yeah, it's too much, man. So what's going? We're going through the papers, by the way.
I wanted to ask why on earth have people cancelled them just for being a bit angry about vaccines? It's stupid.
Oh, it's very simple. It's because the truth annoys a lot of people.
Because people are just not brave enough.
They're not.
It doesn't even matter whether it's true or not. All they said was, let's just not assume everything Chris Whitty says is automatically factual.
Yeah, about the time they had a PSYOPs operation, remember they had Julia Hartley-Brett, had loads of people working here on this watch list using their...
Oh no. And then there was a sort of major thing about the whole anti-vax brigade and what have you, and of course...
Oh yeah, far right. I mean,
and all the social media was with the anti-vax, the pro-vaccine.
And may I just say as well, I mean, I was always anti the idea of vaccinating against COVID as soon as I found out that it wasn't going to make a blind bit of difference. I admit, in the early days, I was a bit sucked in.
No, I'll tell you, I was strongly in favour of the vaccine.
Yeah, in the early days,
strongly.
I was, yeah. But I have always said that I've been in favour of vaccinating against diseases. I have never been in favour of vaccinating against viruses, and I think it's a perfectly reasonable stance.
I've got to be honest with you, I think I was in favour, so I never took any of the vaccines, but I was in favour of giving people a choice. I thought it was right that the British government rushed out the vaccine, and I think it was right that they cut some corners. But what they needed to do, and indemnify people and whatever, but they needed to say, we have cut these corners, here's why we've cut these corners, and here's why we're recommending that people take it. Of course, the reason I'm in favour of it is because I didn't want to take it personally, but my mum had lung cancer, therefore even a relatively high-risk vaccine I'd been quite up for her because it would have been safer.
Yeah, and to be honest, it was the same with me. It was in so much as, I mean, not the lung cancer bit, but in terms of I was concerned for my parents, and that's why I thought I had better take it.
Yeah, but they made billions from it, and they made school kids do it, and when we knew it...
In hindsight, we know this now, but at the time I was
we knew kids shouldn't have had it at the time.
We prevented them forcing school children. Now, Phil, once again, this is the press preview, but before we start... I've asked you the same question at the beginning of every interview that I've done with you for a certain amount of time. Why are you wearing a dog tag today? And the answer is you're not.
I'm not.
Explain.
OK, so the dog... I was going to say, I mean, you really need glasses, my friend. No, the dog tag that I was wearing, and it's not a laughing matter, it's very simple, is because it was in solidarity with the hostages being held in Gaza, both alive and dead. And a lot of fuss was quite rightly made about the living hostages as soon as they were released. Great, you know, it was amazing. It obviously took far too long, but at least they were released. And then there were a handful who we knew were deceased and they were still in Gaza. And I swore that I would wear that dog tag until the last one came home.
And I said to you in the last interview, I questioned whether that was right. I said perhaps it is time for you to accept that it's not worth chasing a dead body. But you stood firm by that. What difference does it make to you that a body was returned? Which was this last... He was a soldier...
Yeah, he's a soldier in the IDF, and he was basically sort of killed on the 7th of October.
Yes.
And I guess that sort of, for me, I was trying to say to myself, how would I feel if I was in... God forbid, if I was in that family's shoes? And I would say that I would never be able to get closure. Now, I know that might sound like a bit of a cliche, but, you know, you've got to think of those who will be forever left wondering, where is he, what happened, has he been at least treated with the respect and reverence that certainly Jewish people treat the deceased? And I think you knew the answer to that already, but anyway, the point being is that his family would never have been given the chance to give him the send-off, the burial, that everyone surely in death deserves, you know, the right to just go in peace. And the fact that he was never going to be able to do that, just it just stuck with me every day. And so
Well, I'm glad you're not
very
wearing
simple.
it, but Asher...
Yeah, well, it's because he's back. So.
Excellent. Well, no, it's great news that they're all back. Well, it's terrible what happened, but anyway, the Times, Rayner, I want Starmer not to appoint Mandelson. Yeah, apparently.
I learned him that was a mistake to do that.
Police raid 2 homes of former ambassador. Allies deny PM is on the verge of quitting over a scandal, so that's a vote of confidence. That's
which means he's gone.
Yeah, which means it's all over.
I actually don't think he will quit, you know. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Don't you think the Sunday papers are going to come out with some... Because there's millions of these documents. They're going to be pouring over them. There's going to be stuff
There
coming
will, but
out.
the only time that he is going to start to contemplate going is if we see what happened with, say, well, Liz Truss is a bit of an exceptional circumstance, but you know what I mean, but other Tory leaders. I know that obviously Starmer is Labour, don't get me wrong, but the point being is that we saw in recent history these letters going in saying, I have no confidence in the Prime Minister, therefore I resign. And the biggest moment for when Boris Johnson had to go was when Rishi Sunak resigned as the Chancellor of the Exchequer. I think until we see a point where major frontbenchers, such as Rachel Reeves, such as Wes Streeting, all of this lot, when they start saying, I have no faith in the Prime Minister, I'm off, that's when he might seriously have to consider. I don't think they're going to do that.
But we've just interviewed, right, said Fred, right, and they turn round, they turn round and say, we believe in our principles, rightly or wrongly. We might be right politically, we might be wrongly, but we're just going to stand by it. I don't understand why, we end up with these prime ministers who don't give a toss about this country. I mean, you've sat there with a dog tag on a TV show and radio show for weeks and weeks and weeks because you care about something. You're sat here because you care about something. It seems to me that Keir Starmer cares about nothing. Peter Mandelson cares about money, and that's all. I don't understand why our body politic is so infested with people who just went into the business because they couldn't think of anything better to do with their lives.
Well, I think primarily it's because that there are certain laws that seem to apply to all of us, and yet politicians can be protected from. So actually already they are a different class. And I guess that does funny things to people. In terms of not caring, I actually, in some weird way, believe that Starmer does believe in a Britain that he wants to see. In other words, he doesn't believe in what the vast majority of people see, because the vast majority didn't vote him in. That's the whole point.
Only 1 in 5.
Yeah, that's the whole point. So he believes in a Britain that he wants to see come to fruition. But I think, more importantly, when it comes to all politicians, regardless of PM, if you're just a backbencher, I say just a backbencher, whoever you are, it doesn't matter, you know, a politician's a politician. I personally think that they do believe in their cause, but then they get a taste of life in Westminster, and they think, oh, this is quite nice. To hell with the cause. I quite like this lifestyle. And it's like that. Power corrupts, money corrupts, let's be honest. You know, as much as I'm all in favour of a capitalist system, I'm afraid money can do very strange things to people. And I guess that when you just have stuff dished to you left, right and centre, and not to mention, you are treated, I suppose, not being too crass, like some sort of demigod, if you think about it.
Yeah, you are.
Because you've got people around you saying, yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, what can I possibly do to help you? What more do you need from me? You probably grow accustomed to that kind of life.
And they're meant to be the servants, and they think they're the masters.
Exactly.
That's where the problem is.
But Jacob Rees-Mogg was saying about the Palace of Westminster and the way that is intended to leave you in awe. But the purpose of it is to, if you like, put other people coming there in the right frame of mind. It's not to venerate you. I mean, the reason that Queen Elizabeth II refused to receive the greatest Briton that ever lived is because she said, privately, I'm just a little old lady who represents the country. The reason they think I'm so marvellous is because I'm there to represent the collective efforts of the country. I mean, can you imagine Mandelson saying that? Oh, I'm only the British ambassador because I'm there to represent the collective endeavours of the United Kingdom. He's clearly as vain as you like, isn't he? He's clearly...
Well, let's go now, because the Soaraway Sun police rummaged through Mandy's drawers. Piers' 2 homes searched by cops. Peter Mandelson's 2 homes were last night searched by cops. They were probing intelligence leaks to his paedophile financier pal, Epstein. Plainclothes Met police officers swooped on the disgraced Labour Peers properties in Camden, North London and in Wiltshire in the latest Epstein Files dump. Mandelson was pictured in his pants alongside a bathrobe, and then you have to turn to... I haven't got that.
But let's just rewind exactly what Ash had just said. Let's just think about this, Phil. Peter Mandelson's 2 homes were last night searched by cops probing intelligence leaks to his paedophile financier friend, Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, if that had appeared on the front page of a newspaper in the 1950s, they'd have got the pitchforks out. I mean...
And the worst thing is Starmer knew he was he was basically house-sitting for Epstein when he was in prison for paedophilia. So, and it's the first time you've ever seen, because they'll never say sorry, you know, politicians, especially Starmer, he's never said sorry because he's always got that plausible deniability. But he lost that plausible deniability. It wasn't plausible. And he sort of malfunctioned, the Starmer bot malfunctioned and apologised. He goes, I'm sorry, but his next word should have been, I'm sorry, and I resign now as Prime Minister. But
yeah, you see, well, the problem is that when someone like Starmer says sorry, he says it for the effect rather than because he's actually showing remorse.
Well, he's saying, I'm sorry, but I was given, it was a security... He blames someone else. What a Weasley thing to do.
Well, I mean, it's just typical of the political elite, and not to mention someone who happens to have that sort of legal background. I'm sorry, but I just... I can't believe people are shocked at how awful he is, because it was so blindingly obvious before he got to number 10.
I mean, I know this is an obvious question, but I've always agreed with the Asher Gould view on this, which is he always gives the same excuse. He said to me, Andre, you watch, he'll give the same excuse for everything. It didn't come over my desk. I didn't see it. It was somebody else. He's never going to stand up and go, the most important diplomatic appointment of my life I gave to somebody who was leaking information to a pedo. And let's be charitable, because we can't use the word because. And in addition to that, the pedo was paying his partner.
Yeah. Well, look, I would suggest that in terms of an apology, there are some who you can truly believe, because they know that the decent thing to do as a human being is to take ownership when you've done something wrong. If you've messed something up, and I say that trivially because, believe me, the actual strong language I want to use is not passable on air, but in terms of when you've really messed up on something, I believe that a decent person says, yeah, I messed up big time.
Well, accountability's gone.
Really
we don't have accountability anymore.
But how are people so incapable of the moral compass that says, if Phil Dave, as an example, gives us, say, a package to run on this show and accidentally they haven't got the right copyright and we have to apologise, then Phil Dave has mucked up and Phil Dave should apologise. And the other thing, which is, let's all befriend a paedophile and take his money. I'm sorry, those are not the same mistakes, right?
No, they're not the same mistakes, but we are talking about the same mistakes.
It talks to a world in which you say, doesn't matter as long as I can get away with it.
Oh, 100%, I agree with that. Absolutely. They will push to the nth degree to make sure they get away with it. And again, this is part and parcel of what we were saying before about the political elite being treated in some sort of reverence to suggest that they are somehow better than us mere mortals. And I personally think that it's enough already. I actually truly believe that the only way that we're ever going to see a real change in Westminster is when we turn round and we make laws that suggest, and no politician will ever agree to this because obviously it would be to their detriment, but we turn around and we say, right, that the constitution, in inverted commas, I know we don't have a constitution, of this country is that you can serve as a member of parliament for an absolute maximum of 20 years, regardless of the position you hold, because then they have a time frame to work towards, and therefore they have to complete whatever their mission is in life within that time frame. And best of all, it means there's a guarantee of fresh blood. I'm sorry, but I absolutely despise the idea of father of the house, mother of the house, and all of that.
I've got to be honest with you. I had a friend of mine who was a really good bloke. He got deselected as a local councillor, and he said, Andre, I feel I can still contribute something. And I said, look, you're in your 20th year. What are you going to contribute in year 23 that you haven't thought of in the previous 19, right? I mean, how many years? I've done 20. I mean, it's not like, without being funny, it's not like you're going to turn around in year 21 and go, you know, for the past 20 years, I hadn't thought of this, but I'm going to do it.
Oh, no, of course.
Yeah, but in the old days, the greatest politicians were, you know, Churchill was really quite old when he became Prime Minister.
I think that's an important thing, and people forget that there is a minimum age requirement for the President of the United States, and it's not 18, it's 35, which I think is sensible. I've got to be honest with you, I like the idea, and I hope we go back to it in local government, of basically retired, quite good people who know the way around the patch, principally being the councillors. But nowadays it's been replaced by, and I'm sorry to say this to local councillors, a lot of people from the Labour Party, Lib Dems, whatever, are just basically people who are too crap to be MPs, not local worthies who've been round the block.
Well, maybe they graciously accept that they don't have what it takes to become an MP, and that's as near as they'll get. So it's not necessarily that they
whereas actually in the old days it would be, oh my God, I need to help out the area, I need to stand for this. Because remember, they used to be unpaid. We need to go back to unpaid councillors. We need to go back to that.
The Independent, Mandelson's home, searched by police in Epstein probe, and the Gruffalo returns, illustrated behind the purple pricked monster reveals his secret. Sorry, purple prickled monster reveals his secrets. It's
purple
talk.
prick.
Well, I thought, you know, you don't know these days with all the kids' books, do you?
Do you think that's a bank top-up job?
Which one? What?
Well, like the Gruffalo returning, because it's quite a long gap since the last Gruffalo.
Well, I don't know, Rob. What's the Gruffalo? Who's that?
The Gruffalo's a book. It was a children's book.
What you're
it's
talking
an
about,
animal, isn't it?
What you're talking about is what I call, with boy bands, Felicity Needs a Pony tour, which is we thought it was the right moment. You've run out of cash, right?
Basically,
Sophie's private school fees are due. Reunion tour.
I'm just asking. I'm not saying it's as it is, you know, but I'm just questioning whether or not that's a thing.
Well, we don't. Didn't know what about the Gruffalo, but apparently
Gruffalo
is
a series of books.
0344 499 1000.
Give us a bell. We've got Dave on, Phil Dave. It's Andre and Ash on Talk.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yeah, it's Andre and Ash, and we're going to take your calls, and we're going through all the papers. But, of course, there was that big moment of the week where Billie Eilish came on and talked about how there's no illegal people on stolen land. It turns out her land was stolen from the Native American Red Indians, as they call themselves. You know, because people were telling me, you can't call them Indians. We've had them on the show. The biggest organisation is called the National Congress of American Indians. So it's just a white sort of people going, telling other people what they should call themselves. But anyway, let's have a look at this Billie Eilish clip to see what all the kerfuffle was about.
I don't think I need to say anything, except no one is illegal on stolen land. What do you mean my house is on stolen land? You're not having my f***ing house, I'll tell you that. You can stick your f***ing too.
And that is actually a clip from Plank of the Week. You've got Layla Cunningham on there, and you can see Kevin O'Sullivan, Chloe Dobbs, Samara Gill, and much, much more. It's on YouTube now. Make sure you watch that. And, of course, Grumpy Old Men coming out.
But we want to...
Can I just check? Did Kev actually have collagen for that?
You what?
Did Kev actually have collagen or something for that? His lips look...
No, he just borrowed... He just... No, he just
it
borrowed...
Like Mick Jagger, didn't it?
He just borrowed Lizzie Cundy's face.
It did look like Mick Jagger. All right, Billie
Just
Eilish.
peel it off.
Right, OK.
It's a good look.
Janice,
Janice, tape, it'll be all right.
You still there, Janice?
Oh, I'm here, yeah.
Thanks, guys. It's comforting to know you're there. Right, let's go to The Guardian. Warming dinners. What's all that about? Rubbish. The FT weekend, Starmer allies in economy warning. And, well, that's basically what it says. Epstein's social Ponzi scheme. KPMG gets money off its own audit by arguing AI makes accounting cheaper. A lot of big companies now, there's SAP, big companies now have suddenly dropped on the stock market because AI's coming out and you don't need apps now. You can just say to your posh app, can you make me an Airbnb app to sell my thing, and it'll do it. So all these apps are actually tumbled down.
I tell you
SAP, which is one of the main companies that supply blue chip companies with real-time data, it can now all be done by AI.
I tell you what I look forward to. I very much look forward to the day. Now, this doesn't happen at this company. So what I'm saying here does not happen at this company. But you know what I really hate? When you get phone calls going, we need to improve efficiency from some big fatty on 200 grand a year, right, who adds nothing to the turnover.
Our company.
No, well, let's not do that. Let's not say it like that. It doesn't happen at this company, Asher.
Not a lot more than 200 grand.
Oh, well done on that.
No, I've really messed that up, haven't I? Oh, no, I've said too much.
So like how it is. So what I'm just going to say now is, much it doesn't happen at this company. It annoys me the way that people who are actually producing the product get, we need to outsource you to India. Well, why don't we outsource you to India? There are people who can do a bloody accounts ledger out there, and they do it a darn sight better than they do call centering. Anyway,
I find it hard to argue with that.
Indeed.
Janice?
Asher ruined it for me.
Janice?
Yeah, please say, can we clear Labour out and put you two on, please?
Yeah.
Common sense.
Oh. What?
Know what you're talking about.
Yes, you're right, we do, yeah.
Take no rubbish.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Janice. Right, the FT, we did that one.
No. Can I just say one thing that you missed? I know the Guardian's a racist filth rag, but it has to be said. Snoop Dogg doing curling.
I know,
on the
that
front
is funny.
page.
Look at him.
Don't buy the Guardian. My advice to you with the Guardian is go to your newsagent and just have a look at the front page. Don't buy it. You support racism if you buy it.
See Snoop Dogg.
Allegedly. I would say one thing though. You're probably best if you do actually pick up the paper just to use that, that alcohol gel afterwards, just in case anything contagious.
Especially as Snoop Dogg's curling one out on the front page. The Daily Telegraph. Police raid Mandelson's homes. Is your bottom trying to tell you something? That's two separate stories.
Mine is.
I'm happy to be hated.
Mine is. Do you know what my bottom says to me? Do you know what my bottom says to me every Sunday? Why do you like curry? Why do you like curry? And then I grip my ankles and get the. I've got a freezer in the bathroom with the toilet paper.
The burning ring of fire.
Whoa, hang on a second.
Burns, and the flames go higher.
Vauxhall owner takes 19 billion hit in rush to EVs. You see, the EVs, they're no good. They're rubbish. Trump steps up sanctions on Iran. Cameron wins fight for swimming pool. Hooray! And student loan chiefs lose track of £13 billion. So
hang on. NHS hires foreign doctors to treat patients from the beach. The NHS is allowing GPs to work virtually from the beach treating patients for
they don't care anymore. What's happened is, and this is the bit that nobody admits, the British Medical Association won't admit it, GPs are basically self-employed, or rather they are private healthcare companies. They're privately owned, and basically they disgraced themselves during COVID. Now, any pretence that the NHS is not run for the purpose of the staff has evaporated. That is not to say that some people don't work hard. They do. Lots of people are run ragged. But basically, the way the NHS is run is based on which of the staff groups has the most power, not based on what is more important.
It's run for the staff and not the patients.
Sorry, I'm just improving the front page of the Daily Star because I'm really, really fed up to the back teeth of every other day just seeing a photo of one of the Beckhams. I don't care. Go away.
I do care.
For goodness sake.
Why do you care, man?
I do care because I think that right, I don't know a great deal about Brooklyn Beckham. I don't know a great deal about the situation, but it seems to me that this whole torrid world in which every part of your life ought to be a psychodrama to be put on the media is pathetic. I think that having a press tent at your wedding is pathetic. Anthea Turner, with what was it, a chocolate bar, posing with the chocolate bar on her wedding day, because she'd been paid by Mars or Cadbury's or whoever it was.
Whisper.
It doesn't matter.
Available in all good chocolatiers.
I just think, get a grip. And I agree with what Ricky Gervais, as Andy Millman said on the last episode of Extras, when he said, you know what? If none of these celebrities ever did any of this, nobody's life would be worse. If we never saw Cameron Diaz's knickers again, we wouldn't give a toss.
Basically,
we'd do something more worthwhile. So, which apparently was Brooklyn Beckham's complaint about the wedding, which, by the way, he put on social media, which was the end of the Andy Millman thing, where he made that big speech in the Big Brother house, and then somebody went, I want to walk out with you in my bikini.
No, I'm sorry, I don't buy into it completely, because there's an element to me of a little bit like the Sussexes, when they keep banging on about how we want our privacy, and yet they keep talking to the papers. If you want your privacy, just don't talk to any press. Just ignore them. Literally go away.
Which is the point I just made.
And so now when you've got this thing here where he's saying about how we want to adopt, I'm very happy for you. I don't care.
Why don't they want their own?
Care.
Why don't they want to have? Yes.
I'm not sure.
I met him once, Brooklyn. Yeah.
Can I just say to you?
I mean, he was about a week old, but very boring man.
Can I just say this to you on the front page of the Daily Mirror? I want to pay tribute. So the front page of the Daily Mirror is about the Suffolk Strangler, Steve Wright, and he's pleaded guilty for the first time to any murder or any sexual violence or anything. He attempted to kidnap Emily Doherty, but also he murdered Victoria Hall. I just want to say, and I think we don't say this enough, the word congratulations is silly, but Graham Hall, the father of Victoria Hall, has worked for 27 years to get justice for his daughter. I thought it was a highly dignified comment outside the Old Bailey. It was phenomenal the way that he thanked all the police officers from all of the years who'd supported the family. I also thought it was right that his prison sentence was increased from 27 to 40 years. That won't make any difference. He's going to die in prison anyway, but which was flagged at the time. But I just think we ought to say there are families of people who've been victims of crime who fight on for year after year after year. And I just want our station to say to Graham Hall, thank you for what you've done for justice. I think your daughter would be incredibly proud of you.
Yeah, but just on that story, with going on about the police and how great they've been, the story is a woman who escaped the Suffolk Strangler, Steve Wright, says 6 women he killed could be alive today if police had taken her seriously. Emma Doherty gave a description and his car reg after he tried to kidnap her, but they failed to act. Just a day later, he killed Victoria Hall, 17, in 1999. She said, I was ignored for 25 years. I've thought, what if? A judge jailed Wright 67. So 6 women died because the police didn't listen to this woman who gave the registration.
There you go. You get both sides of the story here.
The Daily Mail, police knock on door of Mandelson's £12 million London home and remove boxes of evidence. Yeah, they've been rummaging.
By the way, when I worked in Parliament, let me tell you, the salary for an MP was £87,000. Amazing! How a Member of Parliament paid £87,000 can buy a £12 million house. Even with the Jeffrey Robinson loan, you know, the guy... Do you know something? When I was a little boy, we used to walk around the streets and you'd see the local council estate, and one guy had a Lotus Carlton. Like, all the other cars were crap. It looked like where Onslow lived. And then there'd be literally one high performance vehicle. And do you know what people would go? Probably a drug dealer. Now, I don't think that we should make any allegations or preempt the case, but I would suggest to you, if your job is British ambassador and you've got 2 homes, the biggest of which is worth £12 million and the other of which is worth £5 million, you've got £17 million worth of property. Where did it come from?
Well, you could ask that of Tony Blair, couldn't you? And all of them end up with hundreds of millions, and probably Starmer as well.
Dodgy as...
Scotland Yard swooped on Mandelson's 2 homes yesterday. Police probing allegations of misconduct in public office. Raided his £12 million.
No, I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing that I think, Phil. The number one thing that my viewers and listeners are going to think right now: if you've got a £12 million house in Camden, you've got to get a farmhouse in Wiltshire. You're underhoused. Right, I'll tell you what, the number of people that phone in going, I've only got a £12 million house in London, I need a second farm. You know what? Greedy, obnoxious, lazy shit. That is Peter Mandelson.
Right, well, quite.
Sorry.
In the
I went a bit
Telegraph.
farther, didn't I?
Apologies for the language.
In the Telegraph, Morgan McSweeney was sent a memo warning him about Mandelson's ties to Epstein on the eve of the peer's appointment as the UK's ambassador to the US. Lord Glucksman, the Labour grandee, sent the dossier to Keir Starmer's chief of staff saying Downing Street was making a mistake. Everyone was saying it.
Can you imagine when James Whale fell ill and they said, listen, can you fill in for James Whale? You're going to partner with Asher Gould. Can you imagine if Asher Gould had sat down with me and gone, I understand you're very good friends with a paedophile, and I'd gone, I don't see him often. Can you imagine if I'd said that? Can you imagine?
Janice, what do you think of that?
Well, can I first say, the first time I phoned up and somebody said to me on your panel, on your team, and said, do you really want to talk to James? I said, yeah, I'm not frightened of him.
Thanks, Janice.
It's not just not relevant.
Right, little nuggets of Janice throughout, and we'll be going through the last of papers and daily. Janice?
Can I say something?
No. After the break, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Across the UK, on on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Sorry, this is The Late Show with Andre Walker, Asher Gould and Phil Dave. No, I'm not joking.
Right.
The company, Charnock Richard Cycles, changed its name to Buy a Bike.
I wish they could hear what goes on during the break.
No, their tune was so annoying. It used to go, buy a bike, do, buy a bike, do, get down to Charnock Richard Cycles. And it just ran in the Northwest for that many years. They changed the name of the company. You were saying it's so irritating when we've got the theme tunes.
I'm just sort of saying that it's very clever the way
can't
that
whistle.
adverts, which of course we're not allowed to comment on individual adverts, but let's just say that adverts as a whole, it's very clever the way that they have these sort of subliminal signals.
It's a jingle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, London has the Big Ben as its sort of jingle, doesn't it? You know, there's actually lyrics.
What would be the
There's lyrics to the
What
Big
would be
Ben.
the Asher Gould jingle? Like the Wookiee.
I don't know actually.
Going for Gould, yeah, good idea.
Oh yeah, going for Gould.
Yeah, yeah, no.
What would mine be? On the fire starter, they twisted fire starter. Otter.
We're Walker in the air.
Oh, yeah.
It's Walker on the air.
Yeah, this is good.
Tinky Winky, Dipsy La La, Fatty Tubbies, say, oh, too weak.
I think uh-oh is a very good description.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Daily Express, Death Wish TV, licence fee hike hurts us all. Yeah, don't get rid of your tellies, just watch YouTube and all that.
Nobody's paying anymore, are they?
I don't watch live TV anymore.
No, I
deliberately.
don't. £180 now, a rise in TV.
No, I'm sorry. There's no point in debating the TV licence fee with this audience because none of them are paying it.
Well, no, it's the thing is, that obviously,
You must pay
to pay
it.
the licence fee if you are...
Only if you have a...
Legally, you are obliged, but if you shut your curtains, no one will know.
No. Legally, one does have to pay if you watch live TV or if you
that's right.
watch any of the BBC
you can watch
products.
YouTube live anyway. This is a myth. This is a myth.
Live
you can watch
TV, so terrestrial television.
Yeah, but you can watch live YouTube.
Right, you're not
live YouTube.
Right, you're not going to believe what the answer to this is because
They're trying to change that though.
I actually checked. Right, if you watch this broadcast on your phone, as long as your phone is not plugged into a charger, it is not a live broadcast officially as terrestrial TV, right? That is the actual definition.
But we're not live TV. I mean, that's like saying if you
watch this on a TV, you are breaking the law if you don't have a TV
So what if you
license.
watch Andre Walker live on YouTube on your TV?
Yes. Well, no, because this is also a live broadcast on radio, right? So
I don't know. It doesn't affect radio to TV. They want to bring that in, though.
They want to bring back the radio stuff.
The exact fact which I've checked is this: anything broadcast terrestrially which you watch on your phone, if your phone is plugged into the wall, it is a TV broadcast.
Into the aerial or electricity?
I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just not bother. Let's not bother. Let's move on.
Well, let's find out. We need to know the answer.
I've given you the answer. Let's move on. Come on, move on. Move on. To the next bloody paper.
We've run out of paper.
All right, fine. Just screw it.
We've just got 2 minutes now with Phil.
Any further thoughts on TV licensing?
Phil?
Any further thoughts on it? I find it really quite repugnant that I have to pay for a service that I just...
But you don't pay.
Despise.
Yeah, you don't have
to. I don't pay.
You don't have to pay.
It's very simple.
If you don't watch
technically
live
speaking,
television.
with live television, one is supposed to. But I'm afraid that I just find it abhorrent the way that the BBC sort of now has completely and utterly forgotten what the rules of impartiality actually mean. And the great British public is expected to fund that, whether we like it or not. So, look, don't get me wrong, I'm well aware there are some individuals who say they refuse to pay the TV licence, can't condone it, if that's up to them, if they want to risk it.
What about political grounds, Phil? Because, I mean, you know, they've been very obviously biased with lots of news, and obviously with Israel. I mean, what would your views? I know a lot of people who are Jewish going, why should I pay? It's like...
No, I don't blame them at all. That's what I say. I completely and utterly don't blame anyone for saying that. And I, too, feel very strongly about the fact that it makes me very, very wound up that anyone has to fund that sort of biased nonsense. And, you know, when I was at the BBC, which I've made no hidden secret, I was there for about 10 years, and even then I could see in those days things were going in a very strange direction. You
still stayed?
Because it was a job, do you know what I mean?
Correct.
No
scruples.
I wanted the money, what can I tell you?
You did it for the money.
What else would you do for money?
Mind you, I wanted the money, but to be perfectly honest with you, talk about small checks.
What would you do for 200? Well, I get that.
Yeah.
What would you do for 200 quid?
What would I do for
Like,
200
what's the worst thing you'd do for 200 quid?
God,
Like lick a bit of Asher or...
No, I don't think I would.
Well, what is the price then? To lick me, what would I have to pay?
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone has their price.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
correct.
going to level with you. I'm not entirely sure I've given that much thought.
Well,
No
actually,
offence.
we've said this. I mean, we're making this as a joke now. But, right...
Well, I'm kind of not. It really annoys me.
If you think about Peter Mandelson, right, if you think about him, what would he not do for 100 grand? Right, if you were to say to him in government, like, honestly, I've got 100 grand in a bag now, would you be willing to leak government secrets to a paedophile in a hedge fund in New York? Then he'd say, which is his official defence, don't give me the 100 grand, I'd do that for free. So then what's the limit?
Allegedly.
Like, you know how you go, would you do my grand for 100? Right, and people go, no, I wouldn't, like at school or whatever. What would he not do for 100 grand? Is there anything?
Well, hold on, Phil, because we're going to go to a break and we're going to find out what Phil would do for 100 quid and what his price is to lick a part of me of my choice. So we'll find out. Maybe, you know, everyone has their price. Give us a ring, 03444991000. We're going to enter a new day. Don't forget, Grumpy Old Men coming up. We've got What Just Happened on their plank of the week and everything. It's talk. Phil Dave staying. It's Andre now.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
It's the Late Show with Andre Walker and Asher Gould, and our guest co-host is Phil Davies, going to be with us for a bit longer. Mark Connell, I just can't help you, I'm sorry. But anyway, Phil, what is going to happen? What's going to happen with Peter Mandelson, do we think?
Honestly, he's, I think, one of the biggest political snakes of the 21st century. I think he'll just get away with it.
I think he's going to jail.
Look, if he does, some might say it's comeuppance, but others might say it's too little too late. Others might say, what's he done wrong?
I'll explain why I think he's going to jail. I'll explain why I think he's going to jail, because I think his defence... So, first of all, this is not a court, right? So just to be very, very clear, I'm not the person who's seen... And I've always said, some cases look very, very bleak when the allegations are made, and actually in the end when the full details come out. But if it is correct that he said, yes, I did all that stuff, but I didn't do it for money, then I'm afraid his defence is, in my view, risible.
I just believe that there are many complexities to this particular story that we probably don't know.
That is uncertain, undoubtedly true.
And as a result of it, I would feel wrong to say with any certainty, even as a guess, what I think is going to happen. But certainly from what we've seen so far, I believe it is a reasonable conclusion to say it looks very dodgy and doesn't look good.
And it's going to get worse because there's millions of documents that they're going to all be pouring over for probably Sunday papers tomorrow.
Isn't there also another thing that says if what he did is legal, it really ought not to be? I mean, if he's right, it is completely legal to leak market-sensitive information to a man who is paying your partner £4,000 a month and runs a hedge fund, and you are a government minister. If that were to be legal, I mean,
which I don't think it is.
It's exactly the same as the Keir Starmer. I believe that what Keir Starmer did during Brexit should be illegal. It's not illegal. He did not commit a crime, but what he did was he negotiated directly with Michel Barnier behind the back of the British government in order to ensure that the Brexit deal was inferior in order to subvert the democratic will of the British people in a referendum. In America,
he was basically securing his own interests.
Yeah, well, sure. In America, that would be a serious criminal offence. In Britain, it's not. It's perfectly legal. But then I looked at it and thought, my God, how is that legal? In an international negotiation, you're undermining the British government.
So that's what I was going back to before, when we said earlier about how there are some rules that apply to the political elite that don't apply to others. Now, don't get me wrong, if it's obviously not in law, then it's not that it doesn't apply to necessarily the political elite, it doesn't apply to anyone. But my point being is that because Starmer is part of that political elite, he thought, I'll abuse this position, I can get away with it, I'm going to show the British public they're wrong.
Well, the law has been abused by Tony Blair, who basically changed the constitution and put all his people in, or basically flooded all these institutions with lefties, which is why they pull levers in government now and nothing happens. And that's basically what Blair has set up. It's a bit like Miliband pouring concrete down the fracking tube.
Absolutely.
So future government, and that's what Blair did with our constitution.
Totally nasty. I was funny enough, I was thinking of that the other day. I thought that is spite of the worst and most disgusting degree. I know it's not a news story. I know that we've.
Well, what is new? What is new is that Andy Burnham isn't going to become the Prime Minister. And I don't think Wes Streeting is, because he's got no support from the left. Andy Burnham can't do it because he's not a Member of Parliament. We are left with Ed Miliband. And I'm going to say this to you. I think Rishi Sunak is probably the worst Prime Minister we've ever had, even with Keir Starmer in the mix. But it's got worse and worse and worse, hasn't it? Ed Miliband, if he becomes the British Prime Minister, he will nail the poor of this country to the desk in a way that has never happened before. He will deliberately meter out poverty to people.
I obviously don't know any more than you do what the future is, but I would be completely terrified at the prospect of Ed Miliband ever becoming Prime Minister.
He will,
in my humble opinion, is a revolting excuse of a human being. I mean, you only have to look at what he did to his own brother to know.
He looks a bit deranged as well, doesn't he?
Zero scruples.
When he's standing there with his ukulele, with that big rock behind him, with his sort of eyes looking, he doesn't look right, does he?
No. I think the problem with him, and we've said this before on this show, and forgive me if people think we're wrong on this, but Asher and I have previously discussed on many occasions that we believe that Ed Miliband's problem is he's a religious fundamentalist, not for Judaism or whatever else it was.
I was going to say,
his family. No,
he ate a bacon sandwich. I don't think he's very religious.
Dad made that sandwich.
No, it's not that. He's a religious fundamentalist for the religion of climate change, the pagan religion of climate change. And this man his attitude is this: the earth needs to be worshipped, and if some old people die from cold as a result, we have to serve he's a pagan religious extremist.
He's just a revolting excuse of a human being. I can't say more than that. I really despise him.
I mean, actually, do you know when people say, well, you went against your brother, that's not that bad, it wasn't your fault. He got Sadiq Khan as his campaign manager, and what Sadiq Khan did to his brother made them never ever have a relationship again. If I had to run for political office against my brother, which I wouldn't do or would hope not to do. I'll tell you what, the number one person I would not get as my campaign manager is Sadiq Khan, because that man dines out on hatred.
Yeah, but the problem is, of course, is that someone like Ed Miliband can see the, in inverted commas, good in Sadiq Khan. So actually, I'm afraid that doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, I'm very sorry for being a hypocrite, because I've said that we should never ever assume that people in politics are bad people. I believe Sadiq Khan is a bad person.
Well, you know, his latest idea, he wants to take the free tube travel off the over 60s, which is a very cruel thing to do, to just put them on buses where, you know, on the tube at least you kept in the warm, and also you look at all the kids just pushing through the barriers.
What he wants is in Sadiq Khan's twisted mind, these lot don't vote for me, get them out to Surrey, get them out to Berkshire, get them out to Essex, and then we can move in their place the new population of London that vote for me.
Oh, totally. Yeah, but that is Labour to a T. That's Labour to a T.
That's not because Sadiq Khan's racist. It's because he is so self-obsessed, he's so narcissistic that he simply says, an Afghan will vote for me, a Cockney won't. Get rid of the Cockneys. Not bothered about the colour of your skin. I'm an equal opportunity. See you next Tuesday.
Why do you not think... I mean, you look at what we've heard this week about how the countryside is too white, right? And there needs to be an improvement on the diversity. Why do we think this is that they're saying this now? It is so blindingly obvious. It is because that every single poll is saying that Labour is failing, left, right and centre, and they have no hope in hell's chance of getting back into power in the next general election. So the way they can remedy this is if they re-diversify various parts of the country so that they ruin it in the same way they've ruined the big cities, they then have a better chance of getting in, because they've realised giving the votes to 16-year-olds is not going to be enough to push them over the edge. So now what they're doing is this next step where they're going to try and ruin what is, frankly, the last bastions of Britain.
And they're widening so the rural will join urban areas, so it brings in other demographics as well. And
absolutely, you know, they want to change the boundaries. They want to do everything. They want to do everything they can to stay into power. They are everything in name but dictators.
And what would they say if you said, oh, Tokyo, it's too full of Japanese people? You know, they'd be totally against that, of course, but when it comes to English people or British people...
And how are they going to move people to the countryside? That's what I want to know. How are they actually going to do it? Are they going to offer them financial incentives? Are they going to say, well, if you're white and British, you'll pay more money for a house, but if you happen to be from a certain minority, then here's a load of money, go and move to the country. How are they going to do it? It's not going to work.
But that's precisely what they're doing. What they're going to do is they're going to remove family-owned farms from the family farmers.
Well, they want to make those solar farms.
The reality is, nobody would be a farmer based on it being a business. Right, you're not. If you can borrow £5 million for a business, you're not going to invest in one that pays you 50 grand a year if you work full time on it. Nobody is going to do that. It's mad, right? The only people that will get into farming are people that inherit the family farm. But I mean, I keep saying this in this show, and I'm sorry for being repetitious, but once again, Asher made this point. They just want big business in the farming community because they see the farmers, rightly or wrongly, as a force for conservatism.
We don't need farmers anymore. I mean, they've already got AI robots that can run a farm already, and these can monitor the ground, the water content, everything 24 hours a day for no money. Bill Gates, these big businesses, BlackRock, they're buying up swathes of you know, agricultural land. They'll control all that. They're buying all the residential areas so they can control all the rents. They're buying all the essentials for human life. And basically that's what they're up to. And this is why, you know, we've got to put a stop to this. Janice?
Yeah, could I please say something?
No.
After Ken, let Ken. Ken, you're there. Hi, Ken. Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
I've got wonderful news for you.
What is it?
I want to speak tonight about the most wonderful thing in the universe for mankind.
Is it to do with Jesus and that? Yeah.
You know what it is?
Yeah, I probably do.
The agape love of God for every sinner. It's agape love. It's not a sentimental love.
Agape love?
Unconditional, selfless, sacrificial love of God for you and I, for every sinner.
I've done sacrificial self-love.
Agape love.
Wonderful. Sacrificial self-love. Listen, Andre.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm sacrificing sleep for this.
Now, I remember Grace, the lady who calls up, the Christian lady, she said she couldn't get her head around the love of God. Well, Grace, this is the love of God. For God demonstrates his own love for us in his action. While we were yet sinners, Christ died.
Why did God invent the type of flies that lay eggs in babies' eyes in Africa, and the grubs grow in, they become blind forever?
Well, that was a result of the fall of mankind. The original earth that God created. I'm answering your question, Andre.
I know you are. Go on.
The original creation that God created in the Garden of Eden was totally perfect. There was no evil, no death, no disease, no bugs, no illness. But man in his pride turned against God and rebelled and refused to obey his word. God said to Adam and Eve, the day that they eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt surely die. He warned them. They disobeyed his warning, and death, spiritually and physically, came upon them instantly.
So he's punishing babies who are innocent babies for the sins of the...
God doesn't punish...
It's not very merciful, is it?
Okay, Ken, I'm going to leave it there. But Phil, you've got 1 or 2 minutes left with us. And I just want to ask you...
I don't know how to follow on from that.
But hang on a second. People go on about Ken being a religious extremist or whatever. But, you know, on Planet Ken, if everybody was like him, you wouldn't have bloody Mandelson being paid by a paedophile, or, sorry, allegedly. You wouldn't have, you wouldn't have these dropping public standards. You wouldn't... So, OK, he is a Christian extremist, Christian nutter, if you want, Bible basher, whatever you want to call him. But I'll tell you what, I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him, but I'll tell you what, I'm a darn sight closer to him than I am Keir Starmer, Angela Rayner, all these people who don't give a toss what happens.
Oh, let me be perfectly clear. I have absolutely zero problem if someone takes comfort in religion, and I think I've made it very clear in the past. I personally also take great comfort in my religion. As and when I sort of am able to. Can be bothered. No, well, it's not even so much can be bothered. It's very much a core of me. It's very much a part of my life. But the truth is that I'm not as religious as maybe I once was. But that's not because I've turned my back on it. It's just because circumstances have changed.
Can I then finally ask you this question, which I think is going to become a really, really huge question in this country, which the Jewish community, I think, have got some answers for already, which is this. So many of our viewers, so many of our listeners believe in bringing back Christianity, but are not massively religious. I think the Jewish community for many years has recognised that maintenance of their traditions is important. How do we square this in a country returning to Judeo-Christian philosophy, thought and community without necessarily... Do you see the point I'm making?
I think it's happening anyway because people are losing because of the situation we're in. People are going back to church now.
Very simply. How we remedy this is we stop normalising bashing Christianity.
Yes.
That's how we do it. So exactly the same way that if let's just say that Ken, who have just phoned up just now, clearly his values are very much entrenched in Christianity. If someone had phoned up and started spouting some sort of religion associated, say, with Islam or Hinduism or Sikhism, whatever it may be, there would be people who would be too terrified to say, oh, goodness me, there's another religious nutter, because they know that actually bashing that religion is very wrong and very unfair. But they do not know this about Christianity, because for so flipping long in this country, a Christian country, wake up, we have been allowed to bash it left, right and centre. We're embarrassed by Christmas, we're embarrassed by Easter, we're told, oh no, it's not a Christian country, or we can't put up the flag of St George because there's a cross on it. Just go away, right? If you don't like living in a Christian country, don't live in a Christian country. It really is as simple as that.
Quite right. Phil Dave, who is actually our boss at the moment. No, it is, because it's now after midnight on a Saturday. Therefore, you've been our boss for 17 minutes, and you are our boss for 1 hour per week, and that is between midnight and 1 a.m.
I technically don't do the weekend editing anymore.
Oh, don't you? OK. So he's not our boss.
This is Talk. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Across the UK. On DAB+. On YouTube. On your mobile. And on your side. This is Talk.
Yeah, this is Talk. Really interesting, this Late Show with Andre Walker and Asher Gould. We've been talking about Lucy Letby. Asher, you are watching the series.
Yeah, I got to near the end. Is it a series or it's just a movie? Well, I saw it and you think, well, she's guilty, and then you think maybe not, but there's a lot of oddness there. I wouldn't be so 100% like someone, like a lot of people are, that she's innocent.
So I've always said that she's not guilty, but not necessarily innocent either, which means that I feel the case was never proved. But OK, why don't we go with, well, you choose.
Well, we'll just say hello to Janice. Janice?
Oh, God.
I'm still here, love. I'm still listening.
You're only there to listen, so
Right,
let's go to Grace in
no,
London.
can we stop this show for just 1 second and just be clear what is taking place here?
OK, let's get Janice
Janice
back.
can't afford a radio, therefore we phone her at our expense.
I've got news on that.
So she can listen.
Oh,
I might have news.
Janice news.
I might have news. Sky's cut me off, so I'm thinking about going to BTEE or Open.
Why have you got Sky? You haven't even got a ceiling, and you've got dancing rats, and your boiler's broken. Why have you got Sky, Janice?
And I've got a laptop, and I've got a tablet, and I'll be able to watch you guys.
Yeah, right. Grace in London. We'll be back with Janice.
I mean, that wasn't worth 6 weeks of live broadcast, was it?
No.
Let's be honest.
Grace.
Hello?
Hi, Grace.
Hi, sorry. I was just catching up.
By the way, Ken was talking about you. I hope you didn't hear any of that.
Oh, no, I didn't. I'll have to listen
Good,
back to that. What did he say?
I'm not telling you.
Oh,
I hate that. When people go, hey, I wasn't listening to the show earlier, what happened?
No, by the way, hold on, Ken's here. Ken, tell her what you think.
Why?
All right, it's ringing. Hold on. He'll answer in a minute. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Ken. How you doing, man? It's Ash. We just thought I'd give you a ring back, man.
This is ludicrous.
Thank you very much, Ash. And God
Ken, now, with the grace of God, Grace has called in, and I told her that you said something about her. She didn't know, so do you want to tell it to... let's hear it from Ken's horse's mouth. Ken, over to Grace. Yeah.
Anyway, God bless you, Grace. I respect you highly. You seem to me to be a very genuine Christian lady, Christian sister. But what I was talking earlier was that you'd mentioned a while ago you couldn't get your head around how God loved you. And I was reading a scripture tonight to tell us we know that Christ loves us. For God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. That is how we know God loves us, Grace. God loves you very much. Just believe what the Word of God says, Grace, and God will give you peace in your heart. Believe that Jesus died for your sin.
She does, dude. She does believe that.
Can I ask you this, Ken? Jay has been in touch. I just want to read this to you. Hear what you think of this. Your repeated platforming of the fake Christian Ken is fuel for the leftist loons to push their vileness and claim that Christianity is worse than the Islam that advocates for the rape of their women, death, etc., etc. He says that you're an extremist, or she.
He said that. Oh, well, I am an extremist. Jesus Christ is the most important. He is the most important person in my life. He's my Lord, my God, my Savior. He's everything to me. He's my life.
Grace?
I love God by God's grace.
Grace.
Right. I want to say first, hugest thanks to Ken for those incredibly kind words.
Ken's still there. You chat to Ken.
I'm very familiar with that scripture, obviously. I generally struggle to understand other people's emotions because of my Asperger's, and also to understand God because he's so huge and beyond our comprehension. So I wasn't in any way disbelieving in those scriptures. I do believe it's just hard to comprehend because it's so beyond what our brains are able to grasp. But thank you so much for those words, Ken. And that comment, good grief. I've heard sometimes people refer to Christian fundamentalists, and I've also heard other people say, well, then what are your fundamentals? So if you're a fundamentalist who thinks that the fundamental thing to do is to go around taking territory by carrying out violent jihad, then that's one thing. But if your fundamental is to try to follow Jesus, who told us to be peaceful, then that's a completely different fundamental. And so if people are going to call Ken an extremist, I'm wondering what Ken is so extreme about that they have a problem with, because I've never heard Ken say anything that's hateful or problematic in any way. And to believe strongly in God isn't a problem for other people around Ken, even if they might disagree with him. He's not hurting them. So I wonder about the motivation behind that comment.
Hey, Ronnie Scott's has got Ella on next week.
And Nina and Jimmy, yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on. Yeah, sorry.
Ken, responde, s'il vous plaît.
Yeah, thank you very much, Grace. But you see, when we take the Bible literally, it's not allegory. It's the Word of God, literally given by the Holy Spirit to the writers. The Bible says the Father sent the Son to be the Saviour of the world. So the world needs a Saviour. What do we need a Saviour for? We need a Saviour from our sin. The problem on earth is the sinfulness of mankind. And God sent his Son to die in the place of every sinner and offer us and raise them from the dead and offers you and I forgiveness and a new heart. But we need a new heart, a clean heart.
Really?
Our hearts are dirty, but when the blood of Jesus enters our life, he gives us a clean heart, a clean spirit by his grace. This is the most wonderful...
Unless he puts one of those flies in your eye that Andre was talking about in Africa. Anyway, that's our religious instruction. It's Sunday. Make sure you go to church in the morning. Right.
By the way, these aren't actual pills, but I mean, seriously,
take them anyway.
Just have a couple of them.
Let's
You'll feel.
See what happens. Yeah.
You'll feel better.
0344499 1000. It's just a purr.
Pear.
Right, let's go to... Have we got George in Glasgow? Are we getting George in Glasgow?
No, we're not getting that. I'll tell you what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to talk for the next couple of...
Well, let's read. Real Christianity finds extremism abhorrent. Therefore, Ken is not a Christian. How dare you say that he's not a Christian? Best show you've done in ages, says Sarah. Exactly what's needed. More laughs. Keep up the good work. Loves Sarah. What does Ken think of Richard from the Communards? Oh, he's a big fan. He's now a gay priest, but he was a great keyboardist in the Communards. Ben in Stockwell. Hi, Ben. Ben.
It's not Stockwell, it's Stanwell.
Oh, Ben in Stanwell. Ben!
Come on, Ben.
Ben!
Come on, Ben. Two types of audio. One on the radio, other on the phone. No, he's
let's go. Ben! Carol.
Hiya.
Ben!
Who's this, Andre, all right?
Ash and Andre.
Hiya, Andre.
Oh, Ben, you there? There's Ben.
Andre.
Carol, Ben. Meet Carol. Carol, Ben.
No, I was phoning up earlier and Right Said Fred was on.
Would you want us to... We can answer for Right Said Fred. What's your question to Right Said Fred?
It's just a shambles, isn't it? It's just a shambles.
What's your question for us?
No, I was just saying that when they was talking about there's not much like the new music about.
Yeah.
They look pretty cool. I like their silver
on?
jewellery. But if
Andre,
you look at Sleepless Mods...
Carol, hold on. He's talking about his question to Right Said Fred.
Oh, okay.
Should we text Right Said Fred with a question? Let's just...
Ben.
Yeah, Sleepfoot Mods and Billy No Mates.
Yeah.
Because they're saying, like, you know, you was all sort of saying, with the music nowadays, and I agree with that, it's all generic.
Generic, yeah.
But there is a few bands out there, but I tell you what, they look good. You know, remember the Underworld? Was it Underworld?
The Underworld. They were about 20 years ago, weren't they? Carol?
Yeah, I know, but they look...
They look good,
I'm going back further.
What I'm saying is...
Carol goes back a bit further than that.
Oh, I go back till 1970.
No, I'm just saying, Right Said Fred, how they look now, they look good.
Oh, but nobody cares.
But that's because they're bald, isn't it? I mean,
why
they don't change.
Why are we having this discussion? I don't care how young they look.
Carol, did you like how they looked?
Yeah,
right, am I going to speak?
Yeah, go on, you speak, Carol, now. It's your turn.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Andre.
Hello.
Hi, Ash.
I'm depressed.
Hi, Carol.
How you doing, guys? You all right?
No, he's depressed.
Oh, how does it sound like I'm doing?
He's depressed, man.
I've got a phone caller in who's going, I tried to phone Right Said Fred, you're shit, but they're looking quite young, whereas you're looking old. Right, I'll tell you what, I've had Phil Dave on. Phil Dave on, what answering you the question?
He looks about 60.
That thing, I loved it, babe. Right.
Oh, real Christians are all nice, whereas Ken's a very... I don't know what... This show's gone wrong tonight. Also, I need a wee.
Okay, right. Andre, I want to talk.
We're going to take a little break in a minute.
Well, I might have a shit as well.
Okay, I want to talk, yeah?
It's just got to that time. I just
be
can't.
about 10 minutes.
Honestly.
Sorry, Carol.
I've given up. I've given up.
Go on, Carol.
Just a tactical
Okay,
turn.
right, I want to talk. My point was, I was
have gone
cut
straight
off by
through.
Ash earlier,
Yeah.
okay?
that kebab
But
earlier.
my point was, I was born in the 70s. I had electric brain treatment. I slept in a bath at 3-4 years old, okay? We used to have little visits from people, certain people.
God, were they real or imaginary?
Right, we are going to go from this grooming gang to the next thing to cover up the real problem. The real problem, the dirty shit that is in our global establishment.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. I understand. I understand why you feel very strongly about the global establishment.
Because I tell you what, Irene Berkeley, her daughter's 33 years old now. Her mum died, strangled in an alley when she was 6 months old.
Yeah.
Right, well, look, we can't go into all of it. There's been some terrible things
No,
going on there.
the big problem is not being critical of Carol, but I don't know that specific murder case, and we've got to be a bit careful about it. Simply
Anyway,
because-
look, we're going to take a little break. He's going to go and see how quick he can break a record, and we'll be back after this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Right, it's Talk. Andre Lash, he's gone up. Tomorrow morning from 10, you can watch, what is it? Plank of the Week. What Just Happened? What Just Happened on YouTube. That's my show that I do with Kev and Samara. You can also see Grumpy Old Men at 11 a.m. Alex Phillips and Mark Wogan. And then, of course, you got Plank of the Week. That's out now. After this show, of course, it's going to be Ben Fletcher with Marky. And Mark Jolin's doing breakfast. 0344 499 1000. And Dave, Phil Dave, is going to be on that. He's got to get up in the morning. Ash is effing up the programme. This is all from different people, but they've got the same phone number. Rosa or Jay or whatever your name is. Anyway, Janice, are you still there, Janice?
Yeah, I've been cut off a couple of times. I thought you didn't love me anymore.
No, we still love you, but let's go to Hertfordshire Bob. Rob in Hertfordshire.
How are you?
All right, man, all right.
Funny tonight. It's because I'm in the middle of a medical emergency.
Why? What's happened, Bob? What's happened to you?
Well, I'm talking to you with a bit of cotton wool in each nostril. I'll tell you what it is. I've got sinus problems and I've got a sinus rinse. But I'm also recently taking blood thinners. I'm rinsing away. You have to. It's not very nice. You square up one
So
nostril.
you're rinsing your nostrils out.
Yeah, but it's a proper sinus rinse with salts. But because I'm on blood thinners.
You sound better than ever, Bob.
Recently, oh, they're horrible, mate. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If a doctor ever prescribes them, don't take them.
Well, no. If a doctor prescribes them, you should take them.
Well, I do take them, but there's so many.
Because heart thinners are important for obviously clots and things like that. You can get an embolism or something like that.
They're only simple side effects, but you get freezing cold. I mean, you're cold all the time. But I've never had. Listen, I've never had until I started taking them. I'm 73. I've never had a nosebleed in my life. And I was a bit of a scrapper in my day. Even when I was fighting, I never had a nosebleed, you know. But
did you? Were you good at bobbing and weaving? Did you not get punched on the nose or something?
Yeah, but I didn't get a nosebleed.
You've got quite a hard nose.
Well, I've got up in it on the edge with bits of wood, mate. So don't worry, that's nothing. You know what I mean?
So yeah, but your nose holds up well. Apart from it's got sinus problems.
Well, a little bit of news. Peter Mandelson used to live round the corner from me in Clerkenwell.
Have you got any information?
No, my
Did you ever see him about in Clerkenwell? Is that where you live, sort of Farringdon area?
Yeah,
Smithfield Meat Market.
There. Well, in fact, yeah, that's where I lived. He lived in. Well, I better not say, will I? I better not say he lived in Wilmington Square.
No, you better not tell us that.
No. Well, I'll tell you what, lads.
Yeah.
You've got so much. You have so much material. You know, it's incredible. It's like from week to week.
I know.
Do you know what though? I've got a sneaky. It must be the nosebleed. I've got a little bit of a sneaky admiration for Starmer. Everybody's saying he should get the sack, but I'll tell you what. Careful what you wish for.
Well, that is the worry. I mean, imagine if we got Rayner in with like Miliband as sort of the Chancellor. I mean, it could actually get worse. Could it get worse than it is? Because they might actually do something. At least Starmer is really doing nothing. He's causing a lot of, obviously, problems and the anarcho-tyranny that we're in. But these real leftists, these union people, I mean, it could get even worse, couldn't it?
Well, are you talking about Rayner, who promised my wife, who's a WASPie, on the referendum, she was going to pay all the WASPies out?
Yeah.
That was part of her referendum. Is that the same Rayner?
Exactly the same one who still hasn't settled her tax affairs, where she should have paid 40 grand stamp duty. But
she's just a pup. Do you imagine all the strikes that's going to go on? People was talking about West Street. I'll tell you what, he couldn't even stand up to the doctors. You know, and then, never mind about there's nobody. Well, I'll tell you what, we could have Lemmy, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Having David Lammy, that genius.
Well, you know, when we're getting serious now, I think what they should do, I mean, Nigel's not ready for Parliament yet, but I think by the end of the summer, he'll be ready. And I feel that they should call a general election by the end of the summer, and let's get rid of it.
Well, it might happen. If there's a vote of no confidence, it could actually happen. Of course, Starmer could actually force a general election.
Nah, it's like a turkey voting for Christmas, isn't it? He ain't going to do that. But you know what? I think he's got a lot in common with Boris. They're just a couple of naive knobs. You know what I mean? They're just a couple of plonkers. I don't think there's any malice in the pair of them.
Really?
Not really. I never think I would have said that. But,
I don't think Boris really had much malice, but I don't know about Starmer. They seem to get the people they want to go after. I mean, you look at Hermer. I mean, Lord Hermer, what he did with, the lady that went to prison, what's her name? Hayley...
I know who you mean.
31 months in prison, Hayley Connolly, was it? Yeah.
Lucy
Connolly. And you look at what people, from the other side slit their throats. That guy gets let off totally.
You see, the thing is, I mean, we all know you've got the blob in Westminster, all the civil servants. You've got to have someone...
Well, they're who are running us, the blob. We're not a democracy anymore. It's run by the blob.
That's why I am a member of Reform, but I don't know how he's going to tackle the blob. he must be sending out a lot of redundancy.
What about Rupert Lowe? He has a lot to say on things, and he's sort of suggesting that he will be there in 3 years with his party.
No, I would like to see Rupert and Ben Habib.
Yeah.
Put all their differences aside. I mean, what a team.
Well, I think they are together, aren't they, Rupert and...
yeah, but he needs to come back into the reform fold. And
I don't think that's going to happen, is it?
Well, Nigel needs to wind his neck in a little bit. He's a bit nice.
I don't think even Rupert... I mean, they do need to. It'd be interesting to see, because they do need to come together, don't they, at the point of the election, the right.
You know, every day something happens, but every day there's more migrants coming in. And all it is a deflection of what's happening. It's just like... Now you're not talking about the... I mean, God knows how many migrants came in.
Well, exactly, and they focus us on the illegal migrants, the boat people ones, which is about 50,000. The legal migration is 1 million. That's what we got to worry about, as well as the other illegal migrants. Irregular migrants, as they call them.
Yeah, but, you know, it's like a bucket with an hole in it, but the water ain't stopped pouring in. You know, first of all, you got to turn the water off. You know...
And then fix the hole in... No, we want the hole in the bucket. We need to let a few people out.
But God forbid, if you had a leak in your house and you're worried about... You don't run around looking for a bucket. First you got to do is look for the stopcock.
Well, let's find out, because, Janice, you've got a leak in your house, haven't you?
Oh, my bloody roof's gone in. Don't even go upstairs anymore. I've slept on a sofa, me and the cat. The cat is going.
Why doesn't the cat get the rats?
Because he takes up too much room on the two-seater sofa.
But you had rats in your bed.
No, well, that was years ago now. But I have not gone upstairs. The roof's gone. Can I please say, who I actually admire right now is Zia. He's the only one that seems to be able to come out and answer questions.
Oh, Zia Youssef.
Oh, I think he's brilliant.
Bob, what do you think of Zia Youssef? You're a reform guy.
I think
I'm a reform.
No, I like what's her name? Cunningham, Layla Cunningham. I know she's not.
She's on Plank of the Week, actually, Layla Cunningham, I think.
If you actually watched her on GB News the other night, my God, two of them nearly walked off. And if you watch PM questions, you would see when somebody said, "We are going to take it out of your hands, Starmer," he crumbled. And then if you watch question times, nobody applauded Zia. Nobody ever applauds.
Yeah, well, we know
everybody from Reform.
Yeah.
Well, I try not to watch it because it's a load of...
Oh, sorry, I was talking about Layla Cunningham. I love her.
No, I think she's good. She needs to wind her neck in a little bit, though.
Well, I don't think she's going to beat Keir Starmer. Sorry, Khan. I just can't see it because he's got it. It's just crooked, you know.
Well, we don't know that, but you know.
Well, we don't know what's happening.
Not only that,
but every day is a new day.
And that is wise words there from Janice. Anyway, we're going to look for Andre. This is an interesting story. Has Andre done his number 2? Okay, well, we'll be back in 2 then.
Across the UK. On DAB+. On YouTube. On your mobile. And on your side. This is Talk.
Oh, you might need another flush. It's stuck.
Yeah, well, you know, just get the brush.
Break
in
it
there,
off.
Smack it down. Also,
Oh, we're on air.
Also, the other trick, of course, is just put some paper over the top and hope nobody notices.
Bit more, another flush.
Yeah, well, okay. I'll tell you what.
Guys, it won't flush.
Talking of toilet humour, I remember the first time I went out for a curry was in an Indian restaurant in Lee called Passage to India. I will tell you that was the most appropriately named place. I had a passage to India by the time I decided. I didn't know. So my uncle liked a vindaloo with extra chilli. I didn't know what that was, so I ordered it. Oh, every mouthful was pain.
Yeah.
Every mouth.
And it was the next morning. That is.
It wasn't the next morning. It started early. I just said, I just need to go to the toilet. I'll tell you what. It was an ankle gripper. It was an ankle gripper.
No.
Anyway, let's go to Robert.
We've had him. Can we get George in Glasgow on?
Well, the problem is we're not going to be able to take calls if we keep Janice on.
Yeah.
Because
hold on. Let's fill with Janice. Janice, can you just fill for a minute while we get George on?
You're going to cut me off again?
Yeah, we will do, but just need you to fill for a little bit.
Oh.
So
You're my ally.
Janice, let's find out what's going on in Janice's life tomorrow. What are you doing, Janice?
Well, I can't be listening to you because you're not on.
That's right. So what will you do instead?
Well, also, you can't be on the Starship Enterprise because it doesn't exist. I mean, what?
Yeah, Janice.
I had fun, didn't I?
Janice, stay there. We're going to have a chat to Mark, who's co-starring with Ben on his show after the news at 1 in a TalkSport, TalkTV collaboration. Let's welcome Mark Randall. Mark!
Woo! Good morning, guys.
Formerly of Decorum Radio.
Oh, yeah, do you remember that? Yeah.
So what's going on, man?
No, hang on. Do you remember, Mark, when I first worked at this station doing overnights, and I always say it was exactly like, you know, the King's speech. Whatever happens, Mark, don't worry, you'll be fine. That light turned on. Nobody called, nobody got involved, and 4 hours later the light went off, and I go, in this grave hour, and I just had to talk. The worst one was the 5 hours on the Queen. Do you remember that one?
I do.
It was the last day of official mourning of Her Majesty the Queen. Everything had been said. There wasn't anything left to say, and I sat there for 5 hours going on. And always remember, when I left at 6 in the morning, right, that was the end of the morning. So it wasn't even of any interest to anybody at the time. Nobody phoned.
Oh no, don't say that. We were hanging on your every word.
No, they weren't.
That's the joy. That's the joy of overnights. You can get right into people's ears, and they.
But do you miss those days when?
Not working with you.
No, the weekends.
No, he loves it.
In those days, I mean, people make jokes about talk, but in reality, in those days, we had no callers whatsoever. I didn't have that many listeners either. But you should say anything.
In the bloody morning.
Oh, shut up. Okay, shut up, Ash. But you miss those days?
Yeah, they were great times, weren't they? You know, we had fun, didn't we, Andre?
What segments did we do? Do you remember the worst segment I came up with?
Oh, yeah.
I think was the one where you had to guess what the story was based on the Sun headline, and it was just completely impossible to guess. Right? It was like Pooey Underpants Starmer, and you go, don't know what that is. Right? It's impossible.
Where is Ben? First of all,
Well, he's been held up slightly, so I know.
I know.
So he's going to be slightly late. He's going to miss the top of the show, but hopefully we'll have him up on a mobile line.
Hang on a second. We'll do it. I'm not joking.
No, I'm going home.
Look at my face.
Yeah. Well, so what's on the show?
No, shut up. Shut up for a second.
What's on the show, man?
No. What's on the show? Forget all that. Right.
What do you know about football?
There is a possibility.
We can do it better than TalkSport. Don't worry about that.
Hang on a second. I did 5 hours on the death of Her Majesty the Queen 6 weeks after she died.
You don't know anything about Arsenal, do you?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I've tried a bit. Right. But she was fine. Okay. But look, if we can do 5 minutes of just talk sport, we'll just get on with it, right?
Well, do you know what? We have got a contingency plan in place.
Yes.
We've got another excellent presenter standing by who's going to do the first few minutes. But
who is it?
It's Ollie.
You can cut me off if you want.
Silence,
Janice, are you available after?
Yeah, Janice, are you available to do talk sport after the news? What's your football team? Do an audition for Talk Sport right now. Let's hear it. Over to Janice with the latest sports details. Janice, away you go.
I love sport. If you're watching the Olympics, if you notice that the men are being pushing stuff into their nether regions.
Yes, apparently they've been injecting their testicles and penis. No, hold on, Janice. Let's explain the story. They've been injecting hydraulic acid into the testicles and penis to make them more floaty when they do the ski jump.
5%.
It acts like a parachute. The scrotum acts as a sort of parachute.
My uncle had very large testicles and had to have them.
Yes,
hydrocele. Yeah, it had to be removed.
James Whale had that
he
when
had
he
too
had a
much
kidney
lubricant
problem.
in between
And
them.
when he was driving, it was like one big melon and one pebble.
Yeah, that's right. That's what my uncle had.
Only one side gets massive.
I remember my grandmother. My grandmother looked and went, "Jesus Christ, he wasn't like that when he was a little boy."
But James actually liked it, because it made it bigger. Anyway, so more about sport, please, Janice.
If you don't mind me hanging on, I'm quite happy to listen.
I do mind you hanging on.
We don't want you to listen. We want you to present because Ben's not here yet.
Right, just leave her to it. Get on with it, Janice.
So, Mark, what you got on? Wait, hold on.
I'm not that far forward, mate. Do you know what I love about you guys? That you've got faster in my brain on your topics, and that is saying something. I do have to try and keep up with you because you do something no other channel does. You don't talk half an hour on one subject. You move on pretty quick, and that's why I like my
we try to. We're all over the place like a mad woman's breakfast. So what else is on, Marky? What guests you got on?
Well, we got the usual roundup. Mark Donaldson be talking about the day's football, which will be very good. We've also got our regular competitions, One Beat Wonder, which is very popular, actually.
That's where you play a tiny bit of a song. It's a bit like Tom O'Connor's Name That Tune.
So it's not got much better since I left, has it?
Have you got any non-sporty guests? Because you normally have like a general author on or someone like that. You had Jamiroquai's drummer on, didn't you, recently?
You had Jamiroquai's drummer
on. Paul Ross had Usain Bolt.
Oh, yeah, I know. That was a great scoop.
Who have you got that is non-sport on your show?
Well,
tonight?
I mean, non-sport, technically sport, but non-sport as well. Eddie the Eagle Edwards.
Yes. No, I'm in for that.
Well, are you going to talk about the blowing up of testicles to make them float better on the ski jump? This is perfect timing.
No, hang on. Eddie the Eagle Edwards, he's a genius.
Well, you'll have to wait and see.
Well, of course, he was our most foremost
By the way, we all know.
Jumper.
Let's just pull the curtain back. The reason he goes, what question will be asked? You'll have to wait and see. Is A either because it's a pre-record he didn't listen to, or B because he hasn't seen the running order and doesn't know what's going to happen? Is that correct?
Oh, Andre, how dare you?
It was actually because we had him on the show years ago, me and Whale, and he's actually, I think he was a solicitor. He's a very intelligent guy. And when he did the ski jump, we didn't have a ski jump team, so he sort of learnt himself. He built his own thing at home. There's a whole film about it. And obviously he was terrible compared to, like, the Germans. And
No, but what he did...
It was a very brave thing, and he was good.
What he did was, which I think is the genius. Have you ever seen the woman who does the half pipe for Hungary?
Oh, yeah.
She can't do it. Right, she can't half pipe, but she does it in the Olympics. And I'll tell you how she does it in the Winter Olympics. She discovers that if you are in the top 25 in the world, you can do the half pipe. But there are only 29 of them, and most of them injure themselves when they go down.
Yes.
So she just did one or two. She went to every competition and made it to the end. And because she hadn't broken a leg, she was allowed in the Olympics.
I think that's what Eddie the Eagle actually did. I think he wanted to be in the Olympics, so he thought, I can get in the ski jump because there's no one else does it. And, although he was rubbish compared to the rest, he was not terrible for a self-taught sort of...
It started actually famously with the Jamaican bobsleigh team, famously depicted in the film Cool Running, who basically said, hang on a second, if you want to get into the Olympics, what you can do is that you can run as fast as you can jump, you can hurdle, you can long, whatever. Or you can find a sport that nobody else does and basically go to a country where nobody's interested and then self-fund going to the Olympics. And people used to do it. But now they've changed the rules. Now you have to place it in another international competition, which was famously depicted in the film Cool Running. But in what Eddie the Eagle and others have done is basically just been, they found a sport where there are so few international competitors that actually they just qualify anyway.
Do you remember Eric the Eel as well, the swimmer?
Eric the Eel did that.
But,
Eric the Eel.
Yeah, incredible. Janice, your views on Eddie the Eagle?
Oh, blooming heck, he's bit in the past, hasn't he?
Yeah, that is correct.
So
that
can
is
I tell you
correct,
what I've
Janice,
always
yes.
wanted to do? Tell you what I've always wanted
Very
to do.
incisive.
And I'm up for this. I'm up for this if other people are up for it. Just to be clear, if other people are up for it, you can phone the show on Thursday. Right. Andorra would like to be...
I don't know her. Who is Andorra?
Would like to be in the Eurovision Song Contest, but they can't afford the €50,000 entry fee. They have said that they've got a song, and if 8 people come forward who are willing to collectively pay the €50,000 entry fee and pay for all their accommodation and everything at Eurovision, they can be the band. Now remember, to enter the Eurovision Song Contest, the song has to be written by an Andorran, but the performers can be from abroad. I'm telling you, it's going to cost €10,000 to €15,000 each. But if there are 7 of you out there that are willing to represent Andorra in the Eurovision Song Contest, I'm willing to do it, because that would be genius.
Janice, would you represent Andorra?
No, I wouldn't, but I would like a crowdfund to get me a new phone.
OK, no, we'll try and we'll try and arrange that. So, yeah. Janice?
It goes on what it wants, it does what it wants, and I'm lucky I ain't still using it. So, forget Andorra, forget...
No, not forget Andorra.
Really?
You can't be bothered buying a phone.
Anyway, Graham.
Hello.
Oh, you've got your guitar back, have you, Graham? You got your guitar back, have you?
Well, Mr. Rockstar, a rich megastar. Well, Mr. Rockstar.
This is actually... this is Keith Richards. Go on, carry on.
A rich
What's wrong with you?
Mr. Rockstar, Richard Bates.
Graham, Graham, when are you going on tour? A lot of people asking, when's Graham going on tour?
He's not even listening.
Janice, join in with Graham. Janice, join in with Graham.
I love
you.
Sing, Janice.
Can we get a phone to get me a blooming phone?
We've already been through that. Can you just sing with Graham, please?
No.
Mr. Rockstar, Kylie Minogue's new fella.
Don't forget to keep tuned to talk, because after the news it'll be Ben Fletcher.
No, it won't be.
It
Well, it
might
anything.
not be.
It won't be anything.
It's like Roger Moore, isn't it? Is he near the building?
Roger!
He'll be there. He'll be there by about 25, half past, I reckon.
So this is your moment, Mark.
This was what happened to me when I said I was going to be late, and the boss said, "If you're late, I'll sack you." And I. What's he doing?
I'm just giving him as a music bed because we're nearing the end of the show. I use him as a bed to close the show.
Right, go on, finish the show. Come on, you've got a minute.
Anyway, yeah, it's been Andre Nash. We've learnt a